Oh yes, we are live. How is everybody doing? Legends. Let's dive in through the price of Bitcoin. We are pumping as we are going live here. My goodness, how high are we going to go? Are we going to start hitting some major resistance levels? Oh my goodness. Is this just going to form a lower high and we're going to roll back down, or are we going to start smashing some crucial pivots of resistance? We'll be going through the technical analysis. We're just pumping into some major levels at the moment, which we need to analyze very carefully on the live stream. I was going to go a little bit on higher time frame scenarios, but we need to go through this pump right away, okay? Because we are pumping, we are breaking some resistance for the moment, which is a naked point of control that we had here from last Saturday. We are breaking through the resistance for the moment. We are not rejecting from it. So far, so good. For the bulls, it does look like it wants to push up and test this major level of resistance. Let's see if that does get a reaction and we start forming a lower high right over here. We start getting the rejection. We'll be analyzing this scenario right over here. But overall, we're still pumping. No rejection from certain important pivot levels, okay, which is basically this naked point of control. We had 382 Fibonacci from this pivot high to the pivot low. From the highs here to the low. We just crossed through that level in the last few minutes very nicely. So there's no major reaction for the moment. It looks like that higher is possible, right? This is a first reaction level that I was looking at today. For the moment, we are crossing through that level, and there's a main reason why we are crossing there, because there was actually some significant liquidity round about the 69.7, 69.8, all the way to $70,000. As we can see here on the liquidity heat map, we just sweeping up all of that liquidity now throughout the last few minutes. So it did make sense that that this liquidity was going to be swept. This is why we're getting the push to the upside. We still have some liquidity at 70k. There's a few hundred million slightly above us. So it did make sense that a possible swing failure pattern from this high was not going to happen just yet. We were going to get a larger move of a few $100s above that level because we had that liquidity sitting ever so slightly above $69,400. So overall, still to the upside. A next level that I am paying attention eventually is these highs right over here, right? Could we break through successfully, or are we going to get a rejection from that point? When we do take a look at Fibonacci from this pivot high to the pivot low, it is the golden pocket. We just ever so slightly hit the 618. Would be nice to sweep up those highs right over here. And there is VWAP that I want to take a look at, that it's slightly at higher levels. It's the anchored VWAP from the highs created right over here, okay, on last Tuesday, the 29th of October, right over here. Anchored VWAP is sitting where we have these highs and the golden pocket. It is a possible rejection point. I'll go through the comment section right away, guys. We need to take a look at the pump that's going on right now. I've got a lot of analysis, higher time frame, lower time frame, but when we're getting the action and the volatility, the pump here, we need to get ready for some different setups, of course. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, guys. We need to go. I'm just going directly into the pump, and I'm not sure if I'm live or not. Make sure to destroy the like button right away, because I've got a good live stream for you today. We're going to go through Bitcoin, this pump, this specific pump, and we need to go through yesterday's live stream. What the heck were we talking about yesterday, right? Does it make any sense what we talked about yesterday? I missed the short position. There was a specific short that I talked about with invalidation, and this short could have been the top to come all the way down to the lows, guys. We did have a move of over $1,000 on that. Well, not during the live stream, but we did reject. I did see some people in the comment section saying, hey, I am jumping into the short, right? People actually jumping into the short as well, based on, yeah, this is likely going to form a lower high. We ain't going to push up here, and we are going to claim the lows again, which is your take profit zone, okay? We mentioned this scenario. There is the scenario. I did not get into the short, guys, as I mentioned on the live stream yesterday. I didn't like it, just realizing that, we could see a three waver here here. It was a possibility. However, I did jump into the long position. This was also something that was provided as we were doing the analysis yesterday on the live stream, and not only giving you the specific level here of confluence, exactly telling you the lower low support from this descending wedge, if you wish, right? And if you wanted to get into a chilled long position, give or take a bit of room for your stop loss, we're looking for 70k potentially to appear right in the next 24 hours. This is the exact move that is happening right now. Of course, we did even give a much specific level to jump into that long position, right? And this is like really looking for the falling knife, catching the falling knife, looking at $66,800 to be your possible long trigger on yesterday's live stream to obviously look for that bounce back up, right? We were talking about this descending wedgie structure to get one more leg to the downside, cross the weekly naked point of control. It's not going to be easy. You're going to cross it. You're going to create choppiness. You will retest it 1, 2, 3 times before you actually get the bounce. Now, we talked about that level yesterday. Who was paying attention? Who got into the long position from that scenario on yesterday's live stream? Let me know in the comment section right away, legends. You need to smash up the like button just for the educational content, looking at the waves, the different scenarios, where we could bounce, where we could reject. So far, so good. We got Bitcoin coming up to those levels as mentioned yesterday, 24 hours in advance, right? Where we're looking for the possibility of the rollover, descending wedge, and a contracting diagonal, looking exactly at the level where it could bounce, how you could trade it, giving a bit of room of stop loss, giving them the exact entries if you are in front of the chart. I was not in front of the chart. I entered late to the long position, and I had a stop loss that was far away. This happened very, very early this morning for me, and I had to jump into the trade late, decrease the leverage, decrease the amount of capital that I usually use for trading because I'm entering slightly late. But however, I am recognizing the potential of this bounce of a few $1,000s as we are getting today. Let me know in the comment section right away. I'm in 140% running profits. Ooh, that is crazy. Absolute legend right over there. So we ever so slightly just tapping this level. It would be nice to see a few taps, a few exhaustion points, a little bit of a move up. Maybe you get one rejection. That would be a bit of an aggressive short. You could get up there. You could actually try and attempt to get back up, form a little bit of a double top rejection. We're going to talk about the specific levels here. If we do get the rejection, on how to trade this, very similar on how we mentioned how to trade this bounce. Hey, and if you want to catch the exact bottom, well, this was mentioned yesterday on the live stream as well. We are looking at the lower low of the support trend line from this descending wedge structure, right? If you are looking at classic patterns, right, we're talking about a contracting diagonal based on Elliott wave theory. And if you want to catch the exact low, we were talking about the lower low support of this descending wedge. It was actually also an extension. There we go. We're getting the move up here, retesting the 618 Fibonacci for the moment, the golden pocket zone, testing these highs, and actually testing the anchored VWAP from the highs created last Tuesday, right? When we get the anchored VWAP, we could get a bit of a rejection right over here, but there's no rush. There's no rush. I'm going to talk about some more chilled, not FOMOing in, not rushing into a short position, not rushing here on the pump. I'm going to talk about a major other strategy, which is more chilled, right? More chilled, wait for the reaction, wait for the rejection, then have a little bit of more confirmation. Something very similar to this right over here. Hey guys, this ain't going to be easy. You're going to get choppiness here. You're going to get wicked out. If you get into a trade and you have tight stop losses, this is going to tap the level. It's going to get back beneath it. It's going to get back above. It's going to back test and it's going to move to the upside. If anybody did not check yesterday's live stream, this is exactly how we mentioned how this level was going to react. It's not going to be an easy level because you're going to get a lot of early longs entering with high leverage and you're going to get those wicks beneath the level. And if you want it to be more precise on trying to catch the exact low here at 66,800, 66,900, you got the lower low support, right, from this descending wedge, which was also the one-to-one extension, which was ever so slightly front run, right, from this move, right? Where we do take a look at this, it was ever so slightly front run from this move, and this move. You have the one-to-one extension. We just missed it by a few dollars. Overall, we did hit the support level. It was a bit of an aggressive entry. However, we were talking about stop loss, you know, give it a take a bit of room, right? Give it take a bit of room for that stop loss. So there was two ways, right, in looking for this trading setup yesterday. The aggressive one, catch the falling knife. You know, obviously, you know, have that good risk management as well. You know, give or take a bit of room beneath these lows over here. But eventually looking for that bounce up to claim $70,000, even higher levels, right, if possible, as we can see here on the price action. So I'm going to say, look, hey, we are hitting a major level of interest. We are hitting the anchored VWAP. You know, do I want to jump into a short right now? You could create a small little swing failure pattern. You could create a ever so slight stop loss. I'm in no rush to enter a short position at the moment, right? We're just ever so slightly above that high. And I want to see a rejection from a major pivot lower high, right? I want to see that rejection. I want to see the price. You know, hey, we're pumping right now. You're fighting a pump. You're hitting the levels. You're smashing through the levels. The naked point of control smashed in a matter of minutes. This high over here, we're currently trading above it. Yeah, this could continue ever so slightly to the upside. Let's get a rejection first of all, then we'll analyze the next move. Providing that rejection, of course, if you are looking for a short position, you need to manage risk extremely well here, right? You either jump into a short, stop loss above the high, and, you know, accept the loss if you do get the price continuing to the upside. However, there is another way in trading this. Realizing the rejection, realizing the sign of weakness that will be explained right away on this live stream. That's what you want to know. Hey, how can I trade this, right? How can I get into this trade? We're currently pumping above it. Hey, chill out. You know, you don't need to get into the exact first level. We mentioned this weekly naked point of control yesterday, how we are very possibly going to dip beneath it and get a first initial reaction of a few $100s. There you have it right over here. Anybody that was not on the live stream yesterday, just because of educational content, you can take a look at it right away based on how we're looking at this level to react. Okay, touch it, get a bounce of a few $100s, potentially coming back down to retest the level, form that double bottom, right? And then possibly even come back down and back test the level. Kind of an inverted head and shoulder structure, mini inverted head and shoulder. Price is just breaking out from here, so overall no interest in catching a short position on the pump. We all got a little bit of hype based on, hey, Donald Trump winning the election, yes, no, is it going to be a Trump pump or is it going to be a Trump dump? Is it a trap? Is it a trap wrap, right? Nobody cares. Right, nobody cares overall. We are going to get that volatility. We're just going to have to trade the levels and the charts and basically go with what is going on. So far so good. Price is pumping up throughout this resistance zone. We need to talk about the next levels of resistance. Overall, it's doing a pretty good job. We are breaking above the anchored VWAP. That is eventually a good level that we need to take into consideration from a higher time frame, right? For the moment, it could be a fake out still from the anchored VWAP. It is attempting to break above it. We are also breaking above the golden pocket from this pivot high to the pivot low. We don't have much Fibonacci from here to here. We're probably just about going to hit the 50% Fibonacci, which could get a small reaction. We don't have any naked point of controls right there. Let's take a look at the previous week and previous month levels. See if we do have anything right over here. Where do I have them? There we go. Previous week equilibrium, ever so slightly above the 50%. Anybody that is basically saying what is the previous week equilibrium, it is basically the 50% Fibonacci from the entire candlestick from previous week, which is ever so slightly above here at 70,500. There's not really that much confluence and no reasons to believe that these levels could get the rejection, right? It's not a massive level of resistance. The only resistance that I do see eventually is that golden pocket from the overall high from last Tuesday to the low created early this morning, right? Or late last night. So 50% is just being tapped at the moment that could get the reaction. I'm not too interested here in shorting this pump. I need to see a sign of weakness, and we'll be explaining the different scenarios, just like we explained yesterday, the potential scenarios that we could be looking at, guys. You need to let me know if anybody in the stream yesterday managed to jump and listened at the levels and how you could trade this scenario throughout yesterday's live stream, guys. Only this does and needs a smash on the like button, right? So make sure to smash it up, guys, if you want to still continue seeing me here overall on YouTube, giving you the different analysis, projections, and possibilities on the chart. This was a relatively easy trade position, okay? We don't usually get easy positions, but this one was very much easy to detect for that potential rebound, right? For that bounce, okay? So I wish it would be like this every single day, every single hour, but no, it takes analysis, it takes, different projections and overall analysis to come to the conclusion that this could be the setup that could happen, right? Let me know in the comment section right away. If you are shorting right now, stay a little bit cautious. I'd rather see some rejection, some sign of weakness. Overall, we are hitting the 50%. Hey, do you want to get into the 50% right there into a short? Manage risk accordingly eventually, because we do not know how high this pump can go. We can analyze the projections, the different scenarios based on this move to the downside. Hey, what could happen right over here? This is what we're going to do, guys, starting from scratch. So I need you to pay attention till the very end of the live stream, right? To the end of the live stream, we'll be going through a little bit of data, a little bit of news, what's going on, bullish stuff, bearish stuff. My goodness, we had over 500 million outflows on the ETFs yesterday. My goodness, that was a big hit, right? Overall, last week was been very, very bullish, very, very bullish. A lot of accumulation on ETF. There's a lot of charts and data that I want to share with you that are very interesting throughout the end of the live stream, right? If you're interested in that, we'll be going through that later on after we finish the Bitcoin technical analysis. Not aggressive, not interested. This is an aggressive short. It could be a reaction zone. It could be the level where it actually rejects and finally gets into a swing failure pattern from these highs, right? Not interested just yet. I'm going to explain a little bit what I want to see and where I want to get into a possible trading setup, either in a short or potentially in another long. If you missed out on that long position, we are always looking for day trade and scalping setups, right? It doesn't matter if you missed the long position here on the weekly naked point of control or the support, because we are here every single day to provide the next possible and high probability move that could happen on the chart. Either here, either here, either here. It doesn't matter. We are here to analyze the projections just as we do every single day. So if you missed out on a trade, it doesn't matter. We are here to look for the next one. First of all, let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. I've scratched already most of the profits here on this move. I entered late and I actually compounded into the long position because I got into the trade very early this morning, woke up and stayed awake and actually got into the position, and throughout the today compounded ever so slightly that trade, still maintaining that long trade from lower. But hit the like, noobs. Thank you very much, my man, for that insane comment. Yeah, guys, you are here for the education. Obviously, if you are a professional trader, we probably wouldn't be following me, but maybe yes, just to know a different opinion, right, and different analysis. Let's go right away through. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Oriel, how are you doing? Aditya, my brother, smash up the like button. Not financial advice. How are you doing, my man? Make sure to hit the bell notification while you subscribe, guys, if you want to get this in detail trading analysis, possible setups, right? There's a lot of talk the first 10 minutes. Don't worry, we'll get into the technical analysis. Make sure to destroy the like button. We go in detail what could happen next, right? We could roll over. I missed out on the short, I have to be honest. I didn't like it too much, but we also mentioned the potential short trade right over here, looking at the entry point and the stop loss. Where is it? it's somewhere around over here. We mentioned the stop loss where it could be placed somewhere throughout the live stream yesterday. Yeah, basically right over here as we were getting the pump into the level and realizing that we could roll back down from that pivot, right? Kind of a back test of a scene of the crime. We were analyzing the possibility of this wedge structure to come back down to the lows and giving you that invalidation in that entry point here on the live stream. Guys, we're hitting today's point of control. If you want to get in, you can have a tight stop loss above. But if this could be the high, which was at 69,100, and we were obviously speculating, you know, hey, you could maintain that long position open just because the price could roll down back to the lows, right? Back to the lows, which is, basically back to the lows from the last couple of days, right? At $67,000. Anyway, going back through the comment section, let's do a quick hello. Let's do a quick hello. This was overall the projection from yesterday. And we are rejecting right now. I would suggest anybody that has got into long positions, this is a take profit zone, okay? And I will explain why based on the waves, the timing, and the analysis. It is without a doubt a take profit zone. It could be an interesting short position. However, we need to see stuff. What kind of stuff? What are you talking about? We need to see sign of weakness. How do we detect sign of weakness? We'll eventually get this pump right over here stopping at some point and seeing the next candlesticks, right? How they are going to react at the level. And we'll be explaining in detail what I need, right? Just like I explained in detail here, that weekly naked point of control, saying, hey guys, you know, it's not going to be easy, especially if you manage your risk very, very well, such as myself, and you have tight stop losses, you have, you know, tight invalidations. You're going to tap the level, you're going to re-tap it, okay? You're going to get down below a few $100s from that level. And the other way, the other chilled way in getting into the long is get that recovery above that level so you can enter a long and have your stop loss at the low position, then looking at the rise, okay? So something very similar, I think, could happen either here, and if we do not reject correctly, right, like I want it to reject, and we just continue to the upside, we're just going to have to be looking at other levels of resistance. So far, golden pocket is kind of the one which is a little bit on its own here in no man's land, just beneath this lower high, which is a little bit dangerous. Obviously, if you had the golden pocket exactly where you have this lower high, well, it's an eventual liquidity grab. However, there's not that much liquidity up there, okay? So getting that volatility, we do have some news kicking in right now as we speak, all right? Not as we speak. In the next 1 minute and 20 seconds, we do have PMI coming out, and we're going to see a little bit of volatility, okay? So not the best moment to enter a position based on the news. Why? Don't worry, guys. We'll be going through the different scenarios, okay? Don't worry. No, don't worry. We have time. We have time, right? I don't think that this will do this. If it does so, well, we have to say that it's volatility. You know, it's very hard to predict. We want the price to trade after the news event. Not too interested in trading during the news, guys. It's just a bit of volatility. I will be explaining some different scenarios, all right, that I want to see to get into chilled, high probability local setups, right? When we have the news coming out, we don't know how this is going to play out, right? We're going to get a massive pump, a massive dumping pump. We don't know how the news is going to affect the market, okay? So we want to really stay very defensive or not trade at all throughout the news period, right? Anyway, let's go continue. Trump all the way, says Rain. I'm going to go through comment sections and then I'll focus on Bitcoin. Okay, guys, first of all, let's get some viewers. Let's get some people on the stream. Say hello to the community. We've seen the pump. We are at a resistance zone. Still not the perfect time for a short, in my opinion. Of course, the news could be very bad and I don't know, it's going to create a massive dump on stock market and it might dump, right? We are pumping quite nicely into this news event, right? It might be a big fat nothing burger. More important is the presidential election eventually will be known throughout the rest of the day. And we got much more important news, Fed interest rate decision on Thursday, which will bring a bit more volatility. So let's see how this this reacts, will it manage to squeeze out? Not interested in the short just yet. And we'll go through the different scenarios and levels, okay, that we want to see. Also extension. Comment section, first of all. Comment section, first of all. PML data is around the corner. Yes, sir, we are. All the best from Turkey, bro. My man, much love to you. Much love to you. Philip, hello. Andre, pump, 321. Crypto Big Brains, let's go. Alec, how you doing? Late, as always, my man. Just a few minutes, just like a good Spaniard. Rainfront, all-time high for Bitcoin coming soon. I do believe so as well. I do think all-time high is inevitable at some point, right? It's going to happen. Oh my God, go, Anthony. What's up? Brian, my man. Hi, Andy. Can you do TA on 𝗬𝗫𝗿𝗫? We'll leave the TA on altcoins for the end of, well, midstream, okay? Hang on a second. We need to go through Bitcoin. Bitcoin is where we do the analysis, is where we look for the trading setups, just like on yesterday's stream, right? Talking about the levels, the different scenarios. We focus on Bitcoin. Altcoins, yeah, we can do an overview analysis, but I don't trade altcoins, I have to say. Maybe one or two once in a while if I do see a very clear opportunity, okay? So we'll be going through that, okay? Brian, give me a little bit of time, my man. I need to focus on Bitcoin, which is obviously why the people are here. The people are here for Bitcoin and not altcoins. Vamos máquina, eres el mejor hermano, Matador Crypto. Thank you very much, brother, for that kind comment. Smash the like button, says Crypto Big Brains. Not financial advice. Bull trap, says Donny. Yeah, I do think a correction is very, very likely. And there's one reason why, okay? There's one reason why. It's based on this movement to the downside. I was explaining yesterday that either this is a corrective move and we do finally bounce. We got a little bit of a zigzag ride over here. I do not want the price to create one more low. Why? Because we'll be forming a contracting diagonal to the downside. What does this mean? Well, this means that there is high probability that this is a 5-wave move to the upside and we are going to form some kind of a corrective structure in this zone, forming a lower high and then claim these lows and break down. That is what the analysis suggests, right? And that is what I do think could happen. Okay, and I'm going to explain why in detail, levels of interest and different wave scenarios throughout the next coming minutes. Okay, so bear with me, guys. Stay tuned. It does take brain power to come to the conclusion on the different scenarios and setups, all right? And especially good risk management, most importantly for you, for the viewers. I don't want you to get burnt. I want you to learn and I want you to understand the different setups and the risk management and how to play the game, right? If you don't know how to play the game, you're going to lose. And you are here to learn how to play the game, right? Just as explained on yesterday's stream, for example, on this scenario. So let's, Trump, says JD. Guys, hello. Valerie, Salman, Kelly, Martin says short. You know, we are rejecting from this point. Hey, anybody that has longed from down here should be taking profits, okay? This is a rejection point. We have a lower high right there. We are hitting 50%. The 50% Fibonacci from the high from last Tuesday right there is the one that is getting that reaction and that movement to the downside already of $500. Bit aggressive short, guys. I have to say it is aggressive. The only way you could potentially trade this is sniper short on the rejection of 50% and stop loss above the high after the rejection, okay? You can be very defensive right now. I do think that it might create a bit of volatility. We might come back up and test the highs. This is what we're going to talk about right away, right? Because I am interested in double tops locally, without a doubt. They're great. They do happen and they are great, right? You got a double bottom right over here locally. Nice little back test and bounce. You got the double bottom from this low right over here, right? Bang, 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 back up and the bounce. This could also happen right over here. For the moment, we got the initial rejection. That is a good sign. That is what I want to see. Because trying to catch, all right, a pump for a short or trying to catch a major dump for a long is dangerous unless you have a strategy and very specific levels on how to enter, right? Or how to manage your risk, basically. And, you know, the only way if you wanted to short the 50% Fibonacci from this overall movement down is you're above the 50%, you're not interested. As soon on the lower time frames that you do get that rejection from the 50%, you can potentially sniper short that rejection with your stop loss above the high, and you're already in that position and you can be very defensive with your stop. Wasn't my favorite, but this is like the only way that you could trade that. I'm going to explain different scenarios right away, legends. All right. And if you did get into the long position throughout yesterday night or very early this morning throughout, the last few hours, this is a take profit zone. The price has moved up over $2,000. You're hitting a resistance zone that is, could get rejected. If you have longed throughout any exchanges, this is a take profit zone. If you are not trading on one of these exchanges, make sure to sign up with the link down below. I've got Bybit, which has the best bonus available, which is a $500 airdrop right away here on Bybit. Take advantage. For me, it's the best exchange out there. If you cannot trade on Bybit, you do have Bluffing, guys, which has a $10,000 deposit bonus. It is a no KYC platform. Check it out, guys. 10K deposit bonus, as you can see right over here as you sign up. So we're getting the rejection, and I'm going to explain right away what I need to see and what are the next major levels, okay? We could actually get a pretty decent pullback here, okay? I will explain why right away. It could definitely be a pretty decent pullback, but I would be expecting another wave to the upside. We've got a lot of longs entering here. Seems like that news is becoming a little bit bearish. PMI is 56, higher than expected. We got stock market not doing much on the news. Stock market is pretty flat. Bitcoin is getting a bit of the rejection and volatility. So I'll explain the different scenarios right away. We're probably going to get a bounce here on the anchored VWAP, or we're currently beneath it. Anchored VWAP from those highs is basically the resistance with the 50% Fibonacci. It is aggressive. It is an aggressive short, without a doubt, to short the pump. We have rejected from this high, but I'm going to talk about some other scenarios that will be more interesting and more chilling, right? More chilling to actually get into a setup. All right. So yeah, anyway, Aditya, what's Aditya saying? Right now, price is testing previous month close. Previous month close also being tested here, as Aditya is saying. Let's take a look at the previous month weekly levels. Previous month close, also the exact level where it's actually getting the resistance. Previous month close with the 50% Fibonacci. It was it is a kind of a confluence zone based on Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, exactly where we have the previous month close. I had to say, it was an acceptable aggressive short. As soon as you reject from that previous month close and the 50% Fibonacci from the overall move down, it's a sniper trade. It's a pretty nice move. It already dropped about $400. I'm happy with a $400 move on Bitcoin, especially when you have your stop loss very, very tight. I mean, this is a quick sniper short, right? It would have been a quick sniper short. Sometimes when I'm in my power hour trading session, right, I would potentially get into this short position if I'm actually active and looking at the scenario and just taking the shot, especially with the previous month close right over there at that level. Okay, so yeah, you get the deal. 50% previous month close. Your stop loss, as soon as you lose that level, should be above the high, except the loss. If it does just get a small rejection, all right, and it comes back up and it stops you out, but it is a rejection point. And yeah, be happy already with a 2-3 to 1 risk reward. Get the heck out, right? This is very aggressive. We could retest the highs again. This is a scalp. This is a get in, get out, right? You get a 2-3 to 1 risk reward. I know the rejection point. I know my stop loss. It brings me the move. It gives me that high risk to reward. Just get the heck out, right? A little bit too aggressive for a scalp, but very much acceptable because there is confluence. It is the previous month close. 70,231. It is the 50% Fibonacci from the high to the low, right? There was reasons to believe that you could get a fast, quick rejection, possible aggressive scalp. You move down a few $100, you make a 3-to-1 risk to reward. I'm out, right? I'm in and I'm out. The problem is here for any swing traders or any day traders, you know, this is a very interesting zone. This is why we're going to talk about the next possible scenario on you know, what could be next, right? If I miss the trade, you know, how could I get into the possible next one? Day traders here are probably going to have a bad time, right? You might reject, you might retest the high, it might break through. People that are not managing risk, they will be underwater, right? You might double top from the scenario. That is when me and you come into play here, that potentially we could see that internal double top scenario. We'll be talking about that right away, okay? So happy I got the bottom, staying up all night. Yeah, this is the thing. I missed out on many trading opportunities throughout the last few weeks that have been provided mainly in the Legends trading community, just because it's been at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, no, I'm doing all day analysis, looking at very good levels. And I end up missing the trade because they happen when I'm asleep. And I don't put limit orders and, you know, and then go to sleep. You could, in the case of yesterday, we did mention this scenario on how, hey, anybody that is busy, you know, just lower your risk, lower the risk of your capital on the trade, put it ever so slightly further away stop loss, but you're only looking for a 3-to-1 risk reward, right? And if you're maintaining yourself awake, waiting for that level, right, to get the reaction, then you could be making a 10-to-1 risk reward, right? Just because your stop loss was relatively tight. And, you know, you could have made a bit of a better risk reward if you stayed awake looking at the reaction at certain levels, right, with your stop loss. Because you never know if this low is going to be exactly at the support trend line, right? It might be a little bit of a further wick, right? And then you enter, right? You might hit the 1-to-1 extension. But overall, if you hit that lower low support, you enter the trade, you put your stop loss at the low, well, eventually your risk reward is going to be much larger than the setup that we mentioned yesterday, right? Get into the long, put a far away stop loss. You know, we're looking at the 70K zone to be hit, 2-to-1, 2.5-to-1. But if you're waiting specifically for that low, you're seeing the reaction, you want to have an attempt here, stop loss is very tight, then the risk reward is very much attractive, right? That was not the case for me. This happened during my sleeping moment. I did wake up very early in the morning. I did get alert and I did jump into the trade. Not like many of you, someone here saying that it catch the bottom right from this level. I hope you did manage risk throughout that scenario. Anyway, enough talk of what happened yesterday. What is next? We did get a small rejection from the previous month close right now and the 50% Fibonacci. What is next? Let's analyze to find out the projections. And we do this from scratch, guys. We do this from zero, okay? Just so we build up the analysis to see if it makes sense to you and basically look at the highest probability moves, right? Looking at different levels, trying to analyze, you know, what is the next wave right over here? Would I be interested in this level? Would I be interested in this level for a short, right? Try and analyze a little bit of the timing and the waves, just as we did yesterday. The timing would suggest that if we roll down, that we could be getting a bounce up, then a rejection, then a move up, right? Just analyzing a little bit of those wave scenarios and not just jump very quickly into a short on the first pump, right? Stay chilled. We got analysis, we got some levels. Yes, we can long and short specific levels of confluence as a scalper, right? You could have shorted here just for a quick scalp, move down a few $100, just scratch a few dollars from the market, get in, get out, right? But we're going to talk about a more chilled scenario. We're going to be analyzing the waves. We're going to be taking a look at Fibonacci. We're going to, calm down. There's going to be more opportunities, right? We're pumping into the level, just not jumping into the first pump, into the resistance to jump into a short position like I saw in the comment section. A lot of people saying short, right? You know, what if the price continues ever so slightly? Are you going to add to the position? Where is your stop loss? Let's stay grounded and analyze the local situation here for the price and the waves and the timing and the possible setups, right? Not just short randomly the first pump, unless you did get into the previous month close. Anyway, enough talk. Let's go right away through the analysis. So overall, yesterday we had two scenarios, right? For me, there was only two scenarios. There was the end of a corrective move. I was a little bit in doubt here that this could have popped out. I was in doubt. This is why I missed the short, even though the risk management here was epic. We talked about a stop loss here. This being an entry point, and we are targeting the lows. You know, this could be the high. This is the kind of trade that you would want to maintain open, just in case you do get that rejection to test the lows. Now, eventually, doesn't matter. You missed the short. We had a long ready here. We had a long position ready, even though we realized that, yeah, we could roll down. I would miss the short, but I would not miss the long position, even though I need to wake up early in the morning, right, to trigger that long position from that weekly naked point of control. So, two scenarios. Movement down here in a three-wave move. Possible recovery either in a A, B, C or 1, 2, 3. Start getting some momentum. This did not happen. This would have been the bullish case scenario that would have had high probability. However, we mentioned, guys, if we actually come down one more time and claim this low, we're going to be forming a little bit of a descending wedge structure, which, looking at the Elliott wave counts, would have been a contracting diagonal right over here. We are breaking up. What does this mean? Well, this means that overall, this pump over here is unlikely, okay, going to reach these highs over here. Why? Because it's a contracting diagonal. This does not look corrective in any way. It looks like a contracting diagonal, right? It's not a zigzag. It's not a flat structure. It's not impulsive, but it is a contracting diagonal that could lead for another wave to the downside, either in an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bear market, right? So when we analyze this, we need to analyze this first move to the upside right now that we're just getting right throughout the day, right? This is, like I said, if you longed the scenario yesterday, this is a take profit zone. This is a take profit zone. I've taken most of the profits throughout the multiple exchanges that I'm using. And, you know, I'm happy to take profit. And I'm realizing that, you know, there's going to be certain levels that I will be interested in getting into a short position, okay? But we need to be analyzing very, very carefully here together. This would have been in a bit of aggressive short. Previous month close, it is acceptable. It was an acceptable sniper short as you reject from that level. But I think we could see many other things. We could see many other things that we're going to talk about right away, okay? So not to worry. Not to worry. Like I said, you know, missed the short yesterday. Doesn't matter. Jumped into the long position. We know the levels. We know the different waves. You miss a short here. Doesn't matter. There's going to be another trade here. There's going to be another trade here. Okay, so we need to talk about the different scenarios. This is why you are here. Let's crack on right away. And I feel like I'm talking too much without going straight to the point, right? Let me know if that is the case. So overall, I understand that this has been a bit of a 5-wavy move down, okay? It's pretty clear. It is simple. We can understand that. We have 3 peaks, right? 3 peaks right over here in this descending wedge. The classic noob, right? Somebody that has been doing analysis and trading for 1 or 2 years will believe that this is the descending wedge that is going to break out and absolutely moon and get to the top of the wedge, which I think is possible, but even hit the highs from last Tuesday, right? And even go to all-time highs. I think that is not going to be the case. That is the unlikely scenario, and that we will very likely trade in this zone and come back down to sweep up these lows over here from yesterday night or early this morning. Now, we need to build up the ideas right now and the scenarios and the waves and the confluence and the CVD and come to the different conclusion on where we do have good probabilities, right? So initially we have this move. Okay, that is pretty cool. We got a potential, okay, contracting diagonal right over here in 5 waves, right? This move to the upside, this is actually leading contracting diagonal, meaning that it's a potential first wave 1 or a first A wave, right? A wave B, C, or A, B, and C, right? That's what we need to understand, that this is unlikely to be a correction and that the price will successfully build up here to come and claim all-time highs in the next couple of days. So, you know, that's very, very important to understand, right? And I understand that based on this structure that was mentioned throughout yesterday. Look, if we do have this, you know, I'm looking for a significant bounce. Well, this bounce is not going to be looking too great. I don't think it will have enough power to get to all-time high based on the analysis. So I'm looking for a lower high eventually somewhere in this zone. So let's go right away and analyze the initial wave to the upside that has happened today, right? This is what you need to do. You need to analyze what happened throughout the last couple of days, understand the structure, understand that trading setup, understand what could be next. Looking at how this price has bounced from here. How you know, what kind of move has been formed right over here? This is what I need to understand to say this is extremely bullish. We have extremely high volume. Well, no, we got high volume on the rejection here, unfortunately. So, you know, this is already singing a song, right? This is already telling me something, that this move to the upside does not look too convincing for me. So let's go to the lower time frames and analyze a little bit here. What is going on? For the moment, big reaction at that previous monthly close with the 50%. I mean, it had to be an aggressive, it was an aggressive short entry point because the price could, it could reject here significantly without a doubt. You know, your aggressive short was the previous month close with stop loss at the high after the rejection. I had to say it was an acceptable short position to get into. Take most of the profits, leave some open just in case you get that, you know, big final rejection. But overall, there could be some other stuff forming here. So anyway, let's move up here, zoom in, and analyze this. There could be a possibility that you have formed an extensive wave 5 here. Let me just take a look at the measurements. Let's get some levels out of the way because it's super important to understand what the heck is this, right? You know, does this look promising? Does it look impulsive? Does it look corrective? Well, for the moment, I can count 5 waves, even though the 5th wave, you know, looks very extensive. First of all, let's take a look at the 5th wave. Because for the moment, it is not longer than the 3rd wave, if I'm not mistaken. Just round about a 1-to-1 extension. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, this. This is going to be interesting because there is a possibility that we could be in an extensive wave 5. Which is rare, but it could happen. We're just out of the 1-to-1 from the 3rd wave right now. 3rd wave cannot be the smallest. It is not the smallest right away here because the 1st wave is the smallest. So far, so good. The question is, was this the top? Or could we extend to ever so slightly levels, right? And then get a larger rejection. We need to take a look at the different possibilities. However, regardless, right, it's going to be very difficult. That previous month close could have been the top of this 5th wave more internally. We have moved up in 5 waves, right? We're going to talk about the other resistance levels. I need to consider an internal local double top. You know, if it does happen and it rejects from the highs, it's a potential sniper it could be the one that actually rolls down and sweeps up the lows, right, that we formed here today. We got a setup here, without a doubt. There is a setup. But what I want to talk about is the correction as well, right? Just imagine that we do not get that leg up, okay? The easiest scenario, right? The easiest scenario to understand, hey, you test the highs again and you create an internal local double top, right? We love internal double tops. They're double bottoms and double tops. They happen, you know, consistently. They happen every time right there. You got a double bottom right there with a back test and you got the bounce up. So, you know, we could be looking at that in the next couple of hours, right? You get the correction, you move up, boom, you get a double top right there, and then you get the rejection. So we need to consider that scenario. It could be the top, right? Just in case we do not roll down from here and it does come up and test the highs, double top is definitely an option locally, right? So what happens if we do not double top and we do continue to the upside? Well, we have to come to the conclusion that we could be going to higher levels. I mean, there's not really that much resistance until the golden pocket, right? I don't have much resistance. There's the previous week equilibrium, which is the 50% from the previous week, right? But it's, you know, it's not too convincing. 618 would be like the golden pocket would be the only zone for me of interest from the overall move down. You know, I don't see clear short positions here because you have, you know, this inefficiency candle, which is a pump in a dump, and these pump and dumps leave you with an empty space of hardly any resistance unless you have a previous week close or, you know, any other levels or a naked point of control. You know, there's really not much here that I can provide as resistance. The only thing is the golden pocket from the overall high of last Tuesday to the low of the dump. So there's just not much here. There's not enough confluence for me to believe that it could get a solid rejection. It's the golden pocket. Golden pocket on its own is usually a pretty decent level, right? It's the most respected Fibonacci level, you know, from this overall drop. So there's different scenarios, different scalps. If we break through here, I have to say, you know, I would have to remain patient. You know, that breakout could actually extend. It will not be easy. The best option would be an internal double top. That is the safest regarding risk management. It is the easiest one where you can pull the trigger, right, for that trade. You initially get up to the level and reject from the level and potentially backtest the level and then roll to the downside. Your entry point as you reject, obviously stop loss at the high from the wick up. That is like the, you know, easiest scenario that could happen right over here. However, we have formed 5 waves already here. This could have been the top and we could be coming down to sweep up the lows. Now here's where the interesting detail comes right away, guys. We're building up this together, right? We're building up a plan. We're building up the waves for it to make sense, right? Just as yesterday, I didn't know that we were going to do this, but we build the possibility, analyzing the waves, the wedge, the naked point of control, how it could react, how we can get into the trade. This is why we came to this conclusion yesterday, because we build it up after almost an hour throughout the stream, right? Analyzing in detail. This is why it's extremely important for you to stay here and basically look at the detail and the analysis, right? So I understand that the price today has moved, right, in a 5-wave structure, right? It's just, you know, there's no doubt about it, right? We can count 5 initial micro counts here to the upside. So, you know, this is telling me one thing. Okay, this movement to the upside could be finished, right? It could be finished. We could be seeing a steep corrective move. This is why anybody that longed yesterday, make sure to pay yourself on this rejection. It was an absolute sniper short position. I'm sure that Aditya has got into the short position on this previous month close with the 50% Fibonacci from the overall drop, okay? Already he's dropping almost $1,000 as we speak. Very sniper, very aggressive. stop loss above the wick of the rejection, I had to say it was a very much acceptable, aggressive scalp, okay, entry point. 50% Fibonacci with that previous month close. Pretty aggressive, but acceptable, right? Even though it's aggressive, you just need to manage risk accordingly. Sniper short, stop loss at the high. You can put your stop loss at break even right now. You're riding a free trade. And I realized that this movement down could actually come below 68,500. It would be the classic move after a 5-wave move to the upside. So you'll be looking for that possible 3-wave move down. Now, this is what I want to talk about, okay? This is where I want to talk about the levels of confluence and the different scenarios that could happen here and where we could look for a setup. So, initially, zooming out here on the 1 hourly time frame, look, we've had this breakout. I know most of the breakout traders, most of the bulls, most of, the general people, might be quite bullish on this breakout. Want to be cautious. This is a first initial wave that has completed 5 waves to the upside, right? Even better, you can count it here on the 1 hourly time frame, right? You can actually see the green candlestick, the consolidation, a few green candlesticks, a few red right there, consolidation, and then this green candlestick, right, to finish that final 5th wave up. So we can count that. What does usually happen when you form 5 waves? Well, you are going to get some type of corrective move, right? Either in a flat structure or as regular zigzag, right? So this is what we are going to come right now and analyze, right? What we need to see throughout the next coming minutes. So let's go to the 15-minute time frame, right? Zoom in ever so slightly. First of all, let's zoom out. I do see the chance for the price, okay? And the thing is, in a corrective structure, right? Because this is a movement down in 5 waves in a contracting diagonal. Corrective structures can be extremely complex. This could actually do this. Boom, sweep up the lows, come back up, and create a flat structure. It is possible, right? You just need to understand that that is definitely a possibility. It's very, very difficult. Much easier yesterday saying, guys, hey, we're getting in, this is the 5th wave. It's a descending wedgie structure. We got good levels of confluence, weekly naked point of control. Guys, come on. This is a long position, right? I wish it would be that easy right now as we do get this bounce, but it's not easy. It's going to be more complex than you think. So initially, on this movement down, we could expect all sorts. We could expect this movement up, obviously, to be finished. I mean, this was the end of a 5 wave. Aditya, let me know if you did get into the short position right away in the comment section. I'll go through the comment section right away, guys, but we're doing the analysis here for the community. It's just noise. What kind of noise? Of dumping or pumping? Yeah, bull trap, a little bit of a bull trap scenario. But I do think we will be getting another bounce up, okay? I'll explain why based on timing, based on waves. Stay patient because we will go in detail on what could happen and what are the levels that could get respected, okay? Very aggressive bullish CVD forming. Aditya is saying yes that he did get into the short position. So we are forming, he is confirming right now that we are getting very aggressive bullish CVD divergence. We are getting very aggressive lower lows on the CVD right now on Bybit, higher lows still on the price action. So there is a lot of aggressive shorts entering the market right now. I have to say, we got 20 million right over here in long positions, now another 22 million here in shorts, and 6 million looking at the delta. So there is a lot of shorts entering here the market that could get punished. They could get punished, all right? Because if you do get a bunch of longs, then eventually you expect the rejection. But if you do get a lot of shorts entering, right, a lot of aggressive shorts entering, you could expect that higher low and another retest of the highs. So we need to consider that scenario, guys. I mean, it is a setup. It would be an internal double top. If you either break out successfully, right, and head to the golden pocket, right, which I do think could get a reaction. It will not be an easy short position. This is not an easy short, pumping into the golden pocket. The only way to trade this is hit the level, reject from the level. You could have a sniper attempt, just like the 50%. You hit it, you reject from it, sniper, stop loss at the high. This is kind of the only way you could trade if the price were to pump very aggressively into that level, right? So, I mean, it is a level of rejection, right? So, what is interesting for me, zooming out ever so slightly, is, guys, this is finished. We got the first initial wave up. This is unlikely to break down successfully like this in the next coming hours. It's just, it would not be the highly likely scenario. Why? Based on the timing. We got a very aggressive move to the downside since last Tuesday that has completed a 5-wave structure. So you would expect the price to kind of range in this area with certain levels to bounce, reject, reject, and bounce. Okay? For me, unlikely that the price will successfully move and break out all-time high in the next 1 to 2 days, or it will successfully roll over from this point, right, between today and tomorrow and claim the lows. So we need to scalp and day trade the levels that are going to be mentioned. For the moment, zooming in, right, what I am looking at is the possibility of, okay, we got this 5-wave move down. What I'm looking at here is a range. So there's 2 scenarios, right? Well, there's actually a little bit more than 2 scenarios, but one of them would be you form an A wave, you get a B wave now in the next coming hours, you get an aggressive drop, you start hitting some certain levels of confluence and the, bullish CVD divergence potentially, and you're looking basically for a regular zigzag, right? You're just looking for a simple, classic 3-wave move to the upside. For the moment, I can only see this as a first initial wave. This is only one wave, meaning that we are expecting another wave to the downside and potentially another wave to the upside. How can we detect those scenarios, right? I'm going to explain a little bit here what we want to see. So, out of speculation, right? Because this is how we come to the different levels and the different scenarios, analyzing the waves that have happened here. Just like yesterday, guys, I didn't know that the price was going to roll down. I did see the chance. But if we do roll down, because we were trading at this level throughout yesterday's live stream, saying, this is a bit of an aggressive short, but I say if you short here, stop loss is here, and you could be targeting the lows. I don't know if we're going to roll down, but if we do roll down, I understand that this is what is next. This is very likely what is next, right? So we understand if this happens, then this could happen, right? This is what analyzing and trying to predict certain levels is all about. If this happens, then this could happen, right? So that is what we're going to start talking about. If this happens, then this could happen, right? So what if this happens? What are you talking about? What is going to happen, right? What if the price does come down from this zone? There's going to be specific areas that I'm interested in to check reaction and possibly look for another move to the upside, okay? So I do not know if the price is going to roll down from here, right? I wish I had a crystal ball, but I don't. But I know if the price rolls down, what could be next, okay? What could potentially be next? And this is going to be a little bit more difficult than yesterday's prediction on if we roll down here, we get a bounce. Why? Because we are in a corrective structure formation, which can be extremely complex. We do know that we have this contracting diagonal. And what could happen here is pump, dump, back pump. Again, we can form a flat structure or the most common, we just form a regular zigzag, right? In an ABC. So what if this happens? What if we do get the drop from here and hit certain specific levels that I'm going to talk about right now, and we see this kind of price action, right, with the CVD? If we do move down from here out of speculation, right, we start rolling down on the lower time frames. This is very one wavy still. This for me is very one wavy. So what I would want to see is, regarding the timing, the movement down here to continue, depending on how the price moves up, potentially forms a lower high and then gets a leg to the downside. I need the price of Bitcoin to move like this for me to try and detect a possible bouncing zone. Why? Because it's all about the timing and it's all about the waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Note that the fifth wave could potentially not be finished yet. So I would not be surprised if you were to form, a higher low right there and create one more wick to the upside. So that's why a double top is locally a potential scenario. It is without a doubt a possibility. Then you're looking for the rollover to sweep up these lows. Most classically, in a corrective move, that is what you do. You get 5 waves move to the upside. It's very difficult to say, okay, was this previous month close the top, or will we double top? It could be the top right there locally, but it could also move to higher levels, create a double top. It could smash through the level, and we get a much larger extensive fifth wave. Okay, because extension fifth waves, I mean, they can go. They can really go. You get the fib extension from the start of wave 1 to the end of wave 3 to the end of wave 4. I mean, yeah, this could extend to much higher levels, right? There's really kind of almost no limit here for this wave 5 in an extension. So yeah, we just need to come to a little bit of some different scenarios, okay? We just need to come into some different scenarios, because if we do, right, we're getting a little bit of pump, we're getting a bit of a bounce based on the bullish CVDs. There's a lot of shorts entering the market. What I want to see here on lower time frames, right, is this movement down, get an attempt in moving to higher levels to hit those highs. If that bounce fails throughout the next hour and we get that leg down, I have something here already. I have something. What do I have? I have 5 waves up and I have initial 3 waves down. This obviously just being, a classic, basic Elliott wave, impulsive move and a corrective move. So if we were to form this price action, right? If we were to form this, then potentially we could do that. That's what we do as analysts, right? What I am interested in here is certain levels of Fibonacci, certain levels of confluence, right? Especially Fibonacci. Now, of course, it's not going to be as easy as yesterday, okay? It's not going to be easy as yesterday, especially as we do have the election. And I'm going to go right away. We're going down again. Yeah, we're very likely. I think corrective moves usually happen when we have news, right? We have major events. We got election today. It's happening. We have presidential election. It is happening. This could bring some volatility. This, in the next, 24 hours, we could expect, dump, pump and dump. We could expect it, guys, depending on what comes out. So this is why this is not going to be, as legit as yesterday's analysis, right? Which was, very, very highly predictable. If we were to roll down here, we get the bounce. Now, this is a situation. This is I understand that, what would be even better? If the price gets a huge, massive dump today and claims this low, I would confidently say that we could form a flat structure and get an instant V-shaped recovery to claim these highs again. I know it sounds weird, and on the chart it looks horrible. It's like, this guy is throwing random, scenarios on the chart. But there is an explanation behind this. Obviously, it would be a flat structure, and it makes sense based on potential volatility that could happen today, as we do have the presidential election. As we formed this movement to the downside, why couldn't we form a flat structure? It is possible. I cannot say it is not possible. It is a possible count. So if we do get an aggressive dump in the next coming hours, right, regardless of what the price does here, it is a higher time frame setup, I have to say. It could be a running flat, right? Running flats, also happen. You get the pump, you get the dump, you get the movement up here. It ends up in a running flat, not managing to get above the top of the A wave, and it forms a lower high, and it just continues down. But it's a long position regardless. Retesting the bottom and creating a swing failure pattern, failed auction, failed breakout, double bottom, whatever you want to call it, is a setup right over here. Understanding that this has been an initial wave, an initial wave, right? One wave, either an A wave or a one wave. And it would be rare and extremely unlikely that the price successfully, just out of speculation, because this is classic, right? You get people long in here, the major level, that have not been taking profits, and you're actually having people long in the breakout of this wedge. So you could come to the conclusion that it could be a trap zone, and the price just sweeps up all of this movement to the upside that has been created today. People will be like, what the heck's just happened, right? We've got the election, but looking at the technicals, there is this scenario over here, which would be a flat. This to break down successfully, whatever the price does here, this to break down successfully from this low is highly unlikely based on the timing. This is one whole initial wave to the downside. And this is already part of a corrective structure. And as we do analyze that this is one wave down, the timing is extremely important. Fibonacci time, we have finished a move down in 5 waves, and here's where we come with Fibonacci time, taking the high of the 29th of October to the low over here of last night or early this morning, and we want to finish after the 382 Fibonacci time. It would be extremely rare for this to be a corrective move and then the price successfully move to the downside. This is unlikely to happen, that we continue down as we break the lows from yesterday based on the timing. Price moves in waves and in timing. Everything has cycles and timing, right? So this is why this is an initial wave that has finished right over here. And this is a new wave that we have started, and it's only created one wave. So we want 2 more waves to happen, either in a flat, either in a zigzag. We need to see this for at least a couple of days so we can finish after the 382 Fibonacci, just so it's symmetrical with the timing for whatever move could happen next. So the probability of going to all-time high tonight is extremely unlikely, and the probability of breaking down successfully from this low is highly unlikely, meaning that we will be ranging throughout the next couple of days with highs and with lows, but overall looking at a range of a few $1,000s throughout the next coming days before we create any type of breakout or breakdown. just purely based on the timing and understanding that this has been a wave that has finished to the downside. So we know that we're going to hang around in this zone. There will be volatility eventually. This is why I'm saying, hey, this is a setup, okay? There's going to be some more internal scenarios that I will be explaining now throughout the next coming minutes, but it will not be easy. It will not be easy to understand. It'll be easy to understand, but it will not be easy to trade. Just purely based, first of all, that, hey, maybe because we have the election and we're going to get a massive dump of fear, expect that volatility. It could happen, right? Don't be fearful on a major collapse down back to the lows of today, below $67,000, because it could possibly create a liquidity grab and a huge instant bounce. We got the reasons to believe so that this could happen if we move down very aggressively. I will be ready to sniper a long position if it creates a recovery from yesterday's low, just because I understand that it is unlikely that the price moves down successfully based on the timing, based on this first initial wave, based on we've finished an impulsive structure in this contracting diagonal, not impulsive, sorry, this wave to the downside. So I understand that it is unlikely that we will break down successfully. This means that if we do hit the level very fast based on the volatility on the news, this could be another double bottom, if you wish, right? Swing failure pattern, and get a possible V-shaped recovery, potentially to claim the highs that we have created, or maybe it could be a running flat, okay? So, you know, we should be really analyzing the possibilities here, because without a doubt, a TP1 would be, you know, if you do create this flat, right? It's a scenario, guys, that could happen because of the volatility, and we need to talk about it, right? We need to talk about the different scenarios and the different setups. Now, this would be one on the higher time frame. If we were to get that leg down out of speculation, guys, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does happen, if we do this, I understand that we're very likely going to do this. If we move down fast to this level, I understand, based on the analysis and the waves and the timing, that a possible swing failure pattern is extremely likely. And the faster we move down to the level, the faster the bounce is going to be. So I understand that. I don't know if we are going to come down there, but I understand if we do, that this is extremely likely. So you will want to be ready, right, for that scenario, right? It's a plan. You got one plan right over there. That is one plan. And trading is all about creating plans. So we got one right over here, understanding the scenarios, the waves, the timing, the volatility that could happen, right? Oh, Trump, you know, election, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a possibility, because if we do get that, then people will say, well, we dumped because of the election, you know, Kamala won, whatever. And then we got an instant bounce. Well, we know why that, you know, this could happen and why this could happen. Your take profit one for on default, okay, on default, your take profit one for this scenario, if we were to drop down and claim the lows of last night or early this morning, is from the pivot low here of the wave 5 to the pivot high that we have created. If this were to be the pivot high, right, just out of speculation, come back down to that pivot low that has created the swing failure pattern. We don't know where it is. We need the reaction. Your default take profit is the 0.618, just in case it creates a running flat throughout the next 1 to 2 days, right? And then ends up rolling back down. This would already be a valid corrective structure. So that is your TP anyway, regardless of what the price does afterwards, right? We run up or we run down or we create another flat, we claim this high. You know, the flat extends to a regular flat, right? Taking out the highs That's a possibility. But what is important to understand is this long position, just in case we do get that volatility tonight. The price is dropping because of this happened and the other. Well, we got technical levels, we got setups. We understand it based on the timing. This is a long setup. Bounce as default is to the 0618 extension as a TP1. Okay, so that is one slightly higher time frame scenario that could happen, right? Now let's talk about tons of longs. Trump. We got Donald Trump that is going to win the election. Also, New York Open. New York Open just happened. New York Open already happened, right? Happened ages ago. Anyway, these are different plans, legends. Okay, we're building up some plans just like we do every single day, just like we did yesterday. That played out here really nicely. Eventually, yeah, we're looking for higher, but this pump, then it could dump, then it can pump back up, right? We're looking for that three-wave structure out of speculation. I don't know what the heck is going to happen next, but we do know very well how to know what could happen if certain things happen on the chart throughout the next coming hours. And let me know anybody on YouTube or anywhere that does provide this information and this analysis and possible setups and understanding, because I would be happy to follow, guys. I would be happy to follow, right? These kind of predictions, entry points, if you want to get in here, where to put stop loss, talking about the setups as well, right? Not only the analysis. Because, yeah, let me know right away. Would be willing to know and to follow. So anyway, that's one higher time frame scenario. We'll be zooming in ever so slightly to the lower time frame to try and understand, hey, okay, that is one scenario. You could create a flat. Either a running flat, right? Or a regular flat coming back up to the highs. That is also a scenario. Of course, if you were to create this flat, this is a no-brainer. It's a long position if you get back above the lows, okay? If you're beneath the lows, you're not interested, guys. This could come back down, and I could be completely wrong. As long as you reclaim this low from yesterday night, early this morning, then we good for the speculation bounce. Only on the reclaim. If that movement up, right, we got the long setup, we got the stop loss, we got the take profit zone as a TP1, it could extend all the way up to the highs. This is going to be a difficult level to look for a short position, right? Anyway, we will have time to analyze what happens tomorrow if we were to get that move. If we were to move to the upside, on that speculation flat structure, we move up and we come back up to the highs. This is the level that you are interested in getting into a short. As this move down as a contracting diagonal, if you were to form a flat structure right over here, we are looking for this. So it would be a long take profit middle of the range, just in case it's running flat. Will be difficult to short here without a doubt. It could extend all the way up to the highs. But if you do this, then you have a long and you have a short only on the rejection. And this is all about a liquidity game, and it's a flat scenario here, guys. Liquidity swing failure, your liquidity swing failure. You're in the short on the rejection, your stop loss is at the high. You are targeting the lows and even lower levels. It sounds crazy, you will not believe it till you see it, but it's projections and it's timing and it's sweeping liquidity. You will not believe it till you see it. You don't believe it yesterday till you see it. We got the movement down, we got the bounce exactly at the levels that we mentioned, potentially hitting the lower low support even for that very aggressive entry, and talking about the stop loss and getting that bounce of a few $1,000s, right? When we draw this on the chart, it might look very, very random and it look weird, right? And you might think, you have no clue of what you're talking about, but we back this up with technical analysis, waves and scenarios that could happen, right? We do not know if they're going to happen. So we just come to the conclusion of, hey, you know, if it does happen, we got the setup. The faster the move down, the better, the faster the recovery can be. If this moves up to this level, then we're possibly looking for that rejection, and we're looking for that flat, and we're looking then for the breakdown in the next coming days eventually. All right, this is an ever so slightly higher time frame. So let's go right away, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button if you enjoy the analysis, the different scenarios. This is a higher time frame. I know most of you want, you know, give me a trade right now. Should we short? Should we long? I mean, your best scenario to manage risk would have been that previous month close with the 50% for a scalp trade. Okay, that would have been the best entry to get into. Right now, we're going to zoom in on ever so slightly time frames to see if what we can see on the lower time frames, just based on, hey, what if we do not come and claim the lows? What if we do reject here? What are the interesting levels where the price could get a bounce to form a regular zigzag? That is what we need to know. But we need the pullback. We need the pullback. I do not know if this move has finished here. I understand it could have finished here, and we could be sweeping these lows, get below 69K and even to lower levels. I understand that it could have been the end, right, of that 5-wave move up. So now we're talking about the levels of interest for the long setup. You're also very clear on everything that you say. You give the best analysis, and I'm learning a lot from you, your strategy. Also, what I love is that you give a lot of possible scenarios and never a certain one, because you know nothing is certain. Hey, thank you very much. That is absolutely correct. BTC boss, guys. Thank you very much for that kind comment. Let me just go quickly through the comment section, guys. It doesn't matter. These scenarios happen in the next coming hours or in between today and tomorrow, right? Like I said, the best short would have been this one, a bit aggressive, pumping into the level. We could see, you know, I'm going to talk about different scenarios, build up a strategy here based on the waves and the levels of confluence. But this was the best short. Would I be interested in a long here? No, because I understand we've formed 5 waves up. I understand we could correct down. So it's not a good level to long. The level to long yesterday was in this zone. Is it a good level to short? Well, we're going to analyze that as well here very, very aggressively. If we do get a movement up to ever so slightly higher levels, right? We'll be talking about that right away. But there is time, okay? There is time. There's nothing major here to jump into a trade right now. So I'm just going to go one love, brother. I'm going to go quickly through the comment section, give a bit of love to the community, and we'll continue with the analysis, okay? There's a lot of setups. It takes a lot of time eventually. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You know, trading does and analysis does take time. But I hope you enjoy and you do learn a lot about it, right? Let me go quickly through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Make sure to destroy the like button right away. I'm going to go through comments now. Say hello. You know, take a look at some questions if you do have any. We will take a look at some altcoins, but we still haven't finished with Bitcoin on the internal levels, right? We talked about higher time frame. If we sweep the low down here, if we pump out from here, I have to say the clearest one is a double top. Double top is the clearest possible short trading setup. So that is one setup. Double top, I like it more. Bit of a failed auction, failed breakout. That would be the best scenario. Move up, you're not interested in the short. Move down, you trigger the short position, then you look for the larger pullback. This is an acceptable short unless you break out successfully and you go to higher levels. Okay, it is. Make sure to destroy the like button. I need to check the like button because it's probably lagging. I'm trying to provide the education, the waves. My goodness. 348 likes. My eyes are bleeding. No, legends. What's going on with the like? Let's smash it up, guys. Let's get to 400 in the next coming minutes. And remember, I'm going to go $72,000 in 3 hours. Pray. We are going to see a bit of volatility, okay? We will likely see a bit of volatility throughout the next coming hours based on the election. Smash up the like button. Let's get to 400 likes. I can see that like button pumping right away. It is pumping. 374. We can get to 400. There we go, legends. Absolute legends. I'll go through comment section right away. Remember, I was gonna show you a few things, but anyway, we'll go through comment section. First of all, because I haven't been going through comment section for the last 20 minutes, so it's important. Nabil says Trump's going to win. Tons of longs down below, says B-Ring-T. Tons of longs down below. We've had a nice liquidity sweep, that is for sure, to the upside. There is a lot of longs entering, okay, that have entered throughout the last couple of hours, right, on this pump. We got a big major liquidity grab. I was very confident that we were going to get a little squeeze up here based on the liquidity that we had. And there's a lot of longs entering, but there's also a lot of shorts. A lot of the shorts have entered. We got those bullish CVD divergence, right? You do have lower lows on the CVD here on Bybit. Lots of shorts entering on Bybit that could get punished. We could get the sweep of the highs. Bullish CVD divergence means that you have a high chance that you could sweep up the highs. This is why a sweep of the highs could be our ticket for the short if we do get that double top scenario more locally on the lower time frames. It is a plan, okay? It is a plan. So let's see if that does happen. I'll be going through the next scenarios right now after going through the comment section, right? I would not be too interested in a short on a lower high. I would be more interested in this move down to potentially create a three-wave structure. We'll be talking about the extensions, the possibilities, and a possible sweep of the lows, and look for an initial bounce here, right? That might take a little bit of time and a little bit of volatility, but I will be explaining in detail all of this Picasso drawing on the chart, right? So it can make a bit of sense. You are the bomb. Chart junkie is good, but hard to follow, says Jonathan. Jonathan, my man, much love to you. I know Jason Casper is absolute legend. He's a legend. I do jump on his streams once in a while just to say hello. And man, he's absolutely banging. His analysis is great, but what is more great about Jason is, shout out to him anyway, is his energy, his freestyling, his rapping, his different patterns that he's, basically modified to his own language, right? Anyway, shout out to him. I absolutely love him. He's great. Let's go. Continue here through the comment section. Michael, merci pour le video. You're very welcome, Michael. Do a 24-hour election stream. My goodness. Imagine 24-hour here. Oh, my goodness. I'm already getting exhausted, and I have a lot of information still to share here regarding the scenarios and the setups. So it might be 24-hour. I don't think so. It might extend to 3. I'm already been streaming for almost, an hour, 30 minutes now. That's the swing trade. Could be over 10% drop. Possibly, yes. BTC Boss saying you give the best analysis. Thank you very much, my man. I do try. There's so many scenarios that could happen that we try and do a bit of a mix. BTC Boss, you're also very clear. Thank you, my man. Rudy, what's going on? One love, brother, says BTC Boss. Andy, says Matthias. Could you please do analysis on NASDAQ? You are really good. I'd like to see your point of view. Wow, on NASDAQ. Whew. The S&P is pumping. Overview on NASDAQ. I can get a full analysis for tomorrow's stream on the NASDAQ. Let's get the stock market. Doesn't matter. Dow Jones, NASDAQ. And do a full analysis. I'm going to leave this scheduled for tomorrow's live stream to analyze the higher time frame, right? Most importantly, because it is going to take some time. Major levels of rejection and bouncing levels, and analyze properly the NASDAQ just as we try and analyze properly, right? I'm saying trying to analyze. I'm not going to say perfectly analyzing the price of Bitcoin. But this is where we stick, right? We stick to one asset, one chart, because it is basically, it does take a lot of time. I haven't even finished with Bitcoin with you guys here. So whoever does, analysis on a lot of coins or a lot of different assets, it's like really basics, going through basic stuff, right? It's not proper. To do proper analysis, it does take, I would say at least 20-30 minutes to get a solid analysis out of a chart to look for some possible setups. And I don't want to do this like really dodgy and really basic, right? I want to really get something ready. So I think stock market analysis, I think a lot of people will appreciate that. And I will get the NASDAQ full analysis ready for tomorrow's live stream. How can I set up those lines for previous week close and the different levels so I can add words like you? Yeah, let's just do a quick Tradingview tutorial right away. Why not? This is going to be really simple and easy to explain. How can I get the previous month close, right? First of all, you have the object tree. This is super important, guys. Make sure to have organized your levels and scenarios here, right? Different things, anchored VWAP. You can put all sorts here on the right side of the chart. Yearly levels, daily levels, right? Daily closes and opens, naked point of controls. Have it organized on the right of the chart here, right? You basically need to open the object tree, okay? Here you have basically this, right, where you can hide. And when you get, right, the side of Tradingview, you will see this appearing, right? And you will see your drawing tools. And you can organize them by folders with the right click, right? Right click, create a group of drawings, create the folder, right? And here on a trend line, you can double click it and you can put whatever you want here, as you can see, right, on the text. And you can change it colors as well. Okay, so that is basically it. Not much more, right? You just, grab the object tree here to the right, and your drawing tools are going to appear, and you can right click on this trend line, which is this one, folder, create a folder. You can say weekly levels, naked point of control, whatever you want, and have them organized, and you have the eye here to hide them, right? That's another thing. Just a quick overall little mini tutorial on that great question, right? I'm here to help eventually, for you to start your trading journey and be organized as well with the levels, how to detect them, how to draw them. And yeah, how can I set up those lines? Previous week close. Yeah, what you need to do, right? If you want to set up previous week close, previous month high, previous month low, you go to the weekly time frame on the candlesticks, right? Let me just ditch this, clear the chart a little bit, get these lines out of the chart, right? Just have a little bit of a clean chart right over here. Hang on a second, that was an important level, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, that's all-time high basically. You go to the weekly time frame or the monthly time frame, and the previous week levels, you can see them here. You got previous week high, previous week close, previous week open, previous week low, right? And you have them right over here. I've created that folder. You can see how, sorry, this is, yeah, well, this is it. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking, why is previous month high on the previous week high? Because it is a previous month high as well. So this is why I don't have previous. So previous week high, for example, previous month close, previous week close, previous week open, previous week low. You just get the trend line here, the ray, right? Horizontal ray. And you get a magnet. You get the magnet right there. And here, the magnet is going to take you exactly to the body of the candle or to the wick, as you can see, right? The magnet gets the exact levels. So this wick high, you click it. The body of the candle, you click it. That gives you the exact levels. You can change, double click it, change the colors. Put here, previous month high, whatever you want, right? And then here, you will have it on the right side on the object tree. You will see the drawing lines. You right click this, you hit the folder, and you create the folder that you want and you name it as you want, right? So that's basically it. Anyway, let's go through the rest of the comments, guys. Going to do a little bit of chatting and Q&A. I think it's important. I need to listen and I need to answer questions and talk about, basically for the community. I am here for you guys. You are here for me and I am here for you. So it's important to go through comment section and, any small little tutorials that I can do like this and get them out quickly. I don't mind doing them on the stream. But if you ask me to do analysis on NASDAQ, I would say, you know what? I'm going to write it down on my tasks to do on the live stream, and let's do a full analysis. And tomorrow, as I'm getting the live stream ready, we'll focus on NASDAQ higher time frame analysis and even lower time frame analysis. Okay, I could not do that fast in 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, right? I appreciate your explanation so much. You're very much welcome, my man. I'm only here to help you guys. Okay. Tomorrow NASDAQ sounds great. Moses, yeah, let's get a full analysis with levels, right? We'll get all of this previous week, highs, lows, close, naked point of controls, high volume nodes, projections on waves, maybe harmonics. Maybe there's some harmonics that I do detect, and just do the analysis and give it out to you with the simple explanation, which is going to be much faster, right, for you guys. 431 likes, legends, Sin Games, my man. Much love to you. Thanks for the support. Mattis, thank you very much. Thanks to you. Right, let's go right away. Smash the likes, people. Of someone deserves it, like Andy and Master Legend, the Master Legend. Thank you very much, BTC boss. Much love to you. Let's go right away through. Your stream is looking very darkness. I had to open my eyes big and see them clearly. Okay, right. Well, it looks very dark, unfortunately. Shorts will be liquidated at $70,500, says Manuel Nasco. Let's take a look at that. Why would there be shorts getting liquidated at $70,500? It is possible. It is possible. There has been a lot of shorts, guys. So entering, we got bullish CVD divergence, so I would not really consider a lower high here internally on the lower time frames. I would have done potentially, but I'm not right now, just because of the amount of shorts that have entered here that have spoilt the possibility, right, that we could form a lower high. We formed bullish CVDs, too many shorts entering here, right? Loads of shorts entering here at the high that could get liquidated, like my man here says in the comment section, right? You might get that squeeze move to the upside. And this is why a double top is something very interesting. We could double top. If you break through, you maintain above the level, we could go to higher levels. Let's leave it that way, right? Not interested in the short as the price trades above the high created in the last hour. So, regarding $70,500 being a good level to speculate on a short, I mean, the golden pocket is at $71,000. It's just going to be very, very difficult to short the pump, right? You might claim that wick. I have to give this wick as a possible SFP level, because we might talk about certain scenarios that maybe don't come into fruition, right? I talk about this internal double top, but it might not happen and the price breaks through. So I am not trying to predict that we are going to double top here, but if it does create the rejection, it's a quick sniper short position possibility, and then you're going to get the larger pullback. Only if it does get back beneath the level. So the question is right now, hey, if we do slice through this level, previous week equilibrium is a little bit lonely here. I don't see any major confluence. Previous week equilibrium is the previous week 50% Fibonacci, okay? So there is really not much here. It's going to be very difficult to detect a top. This was beautiful. This was the previous month close and the 50% Fibonacci. You had reasons and a strategy to short that level, $70,200. As you reject from it, sniper short, stop loss, You got a pullback of several $100s, almost $1,000 throughout the last hour. It was a good scalp short attempt because you had previous month close, because you had 50% Fibonacci from the overall drop of last week. However, if we do smash through the level here, I've only got the previous week equilibrium. I have no naked point of controls. So the only thing that I can come here is a double top locally. We try and break the highs, claim liquidity above us to 70,500 potentially, and then create the internal double top, right? You do form these scenarios a lot of the times. This is the clearest example that I could give you. But instead of a double top, it's a double bottom. You get a major move down, you get an instant bounce, and you come back down and wick beneath that low. This could happen here. It could happen here, right? On lower time frames eventually. There's a few 1 hourly candles here happening before that low was claimed, but it could happen. So, you just need to take it into consideration. Hey, we wick above this level and we reject from the level. It's a sniper short. This could be the pullback that comes all the way down to sweep up these lows. And there is a reason to believe that these lows are going to be swept. It's just classic when you form an initial wave to the upside. This is still very one wavy. And when you form 5 waves up, the most classic level for the corrective move to happen, either in an ABC or an ABC very aggressively, is to at least sweep up the lows of the 4th wave. It happens most of the times, not always. Not always. It could be a shallow 3 waver and then you get a leg up. But most of the times it does, which would be your target zone if you are double topping from this level. I would be very much interested in that scenario, and this would be the target zone, the sweep of these lows, this consolidation, just because it's a wave 4 right there. We double top from here. It's a sniper short, great stop loss. Target zone would be sweep of these higher lows of today. It's it's just it would be the classic target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you form 5 waves up, you get a corrective structure. You usually sweep up the 4th wave. It happens most of the time. So as it happens most of the times, it's a good target zone, right? It's a good target zone. Now, we need to pay attention here on how we come up to the highs based on the bullish CVDs. My question is right now, will we wick it and reject from it, or will we break through and start going to higher levels? I have to say that there's no quick short try to catch the high of the pump here. Safely, I mean safely, right? You can short wherever you want on the pump, but I'm not sure if you're going to manage risk. That is my question. And I need risk management if I want to get into a specific short. I need to know where I'm putting my stop loss. If I don't know where I'm putting my stop loss, I do not enter the trade, right? If you watching here right now, you enter trades randomly without stop losses, you ain't gonna go too far away. So, previous week equilibrium, which is the 50% Fibonacci, it is at 70,548. It's just not a solid level on its own. It's not a solid level on its own. If we get Fibonacci from the highs of last week to the lows, almost all-time high, 50% was the one that got the rejection. Golden pocket is the one area that it's just not going to be easy for the short guys. It's just not going to be easy. I would rather see a sweep of this high, right? Golden pocket, yeah, it's the most respected Fibonacci retracement, but it's not going to be easy. You might get choppiness, you might get double tops. If you want to have a short attempt here, like very aggressive, you just need to put stop loss above the high of the rejection. And obviously you're entering a little bit lower here. You're not catching the high. You need the rejection, you need a stop loss. But it will not be easy, without a doubt. It will not be easy. Now, this high would be much better, right? This would be a very, very nice level for me to say, like, I like that swing failure pattern, right? It's the highs from last Friday. You come up very fast to that level. You know, you would be expecting that quick swing failure pattern, right? Rejection of at least a few $100s. Anyway, at least a few $100s. So it is I like that level much better than trying to catch a short into the pump here after breaking out from today's highs. You know, this is really a no trade zone if we break above the highs here. It's going to be very difficult. Previous week equilibrium, it's just on its own. There's no confluence. So this area for me would be a no trade zone unless we do hit, you know, 618 golden pocket. You could get one quick reaction. It's a sniper short. It's just not an easy level because you could double top, you could consolidate, you could triple top and then move down. It's not going to be easy to trade. Preferably, I would want to see the local double top from today's highs, or you run up and you even claim these highs from last Friday, right? Which is, you know, obviously very far away from here, but you never know. But if it moves fast into that level, I would consider a quick swing failure pattern without a doubt. And if you are interested in trading any of these possible scenarios, just like the one mentioned yesterday, who's in that long position? I've already taken most of the profit throughout multiple exchanges, few $100, $500 here on Bybit, you know, just on multiple different ones, been adding and compounding this position and taking profits. If you are interested, you do have Bybit, for me, #1 trading platform, guys. It's a no-brainer. They've been active for over 5 years, and actually more than that, over 6 years now. $500 deposit bonus. It's the best one that you can use for trading, spot trading and leverage trading. If you cannot trade on Bybit, bluffing is the best alternative. No KYC. They have proof of reserves. They're extremely legit. $10,000 deposit bonus is available if you sign up with the link down below, guys. Check out bluffing. For me, is the best alternative for Bybit. Okay, if you cannot trade on Bybit. So that's a little bit of the levels here. A bit of the scenarios. It's very difficult unless we're forming some insanely bearish CVD divergence, which is not the case. You know, there's no longs entering here. You know, retail speaking. There's no big major longs entering. There's no big major bearish CVDs, right? If we were to have massive CVDs to the upside here, and you know we are forming, you know, higher highs and lower highs here on the price action and higher highs on the CVD from this point, I would say, okay, you know, this actually could be a speculative short, at least back down to the lows, and you are looking for that internal lower high, but it is not the case. You are back testing this level. You are back testing the highs of this dead cat bounce. Look at the back test. Look at this high, how it is reacting. You know, if we would have had bearish CVD divergence here, I think this would be an acceptable attempt, but we don't. On the other side, we have bullish ones. Too many shorts entering in this move. Lower lows on CVD. Lots of shorts, retail, that, you know, that have stop losses and liquidity up here. It's a dangerous short. It's a dangerous lower high speculation, back test of these highs. It's dangerous. Yes, it could reject. Yes, it could go down. But based on the data, I don't like it. Based on bullish CVD divergence, look how many shorts entered here on Bybit. It's been absolute insanity. 22 million, right? Throughout the last hour. 6 million here. Looking at the delta. More shorts at these highs entering, which obviously is providing that liquidity above those highs that, you know, brings the danger of you trying to short here this lower high and this back test from this dead cat bounce, which is getting the reaction. But this is why we need to be very, very active looking at the data that is happening throughout the next moves. I realize that this could not be a great short, so I don't like it. I will not enter it. I realize it could do so. If it does so, I would be happy to say, guys, I missed the short. Just like I missed the short yesterday from this level right over here. I was saying, guys, a stop loss beneath this high is more than enough if you are looking for this short position overall, the projection is good. You would be looking to sweep up the lows, right? Who was here on yesterday's live stream? Also looking at the short entry point, right, from the $68,000, right, $69,100 range, right? We're talking about that level right there, saying, guys, a stop loss is enough at 69.3. This could be the top. We could be looking at a sweep of the lows and even looking for lower levels, right? Realizing, yeah, it could be. I didn't take it. I missed the short. I missed that short position because I did not like it based on this 5-wave move up. I just didn't, there was something here saying, this could be the end of a 3-wave. Maybe it could pop out. I just didn't like it. But the risk management was there. If you want to attempt it, your stop loss is here. Your entry is in the zone. You're targeting these lows at least for a TP1, right? Sweep of the lows. But you're overall leaving some open to ultimately take profit, all of it right down here. But did manage to jump into the long throughout multiple exchanges right over here on this movement to the downside. So doesn't matter if you missed the short, there's another trade around the corner, right? As I like to say. So this is, we're pumping out from the level. The dangerous short position because of bullish CVDs. We're going to come up to the highs. Let's see if we do get that pop. Let's see if we get the pop here, legends. Or we're gonna SFP. We might get into a quick trade. If we do create that wick, I have to say it would be an aggressive. Let's take a look at this, guys, because I do count 5 waves as I did the analysis, right? You got a flat right over here. You got a bit of a triangle structure right there. Well, I do count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe the 5th wave, the extensive 5th wave, hasn't finished. Has not finished. So we're pumping up, legends. There's no more news, right? Well, the presidential election, which should be known in the next coming hours, right? Tonight, well, Central European time, I guess. Let me just quickly analyze this really lower time frame levels, just looking at the extensions, okay? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got a possibility here. We got a possibility. 1, 2, 1, 2. Whew. Yeah, there's a situation here for, if this wave 5 is not finished, because I see this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4. This has retraced too much to be an internal. Yeah, it has retraced too much to look at it as a wave 4 down to the 618. Little bit concerned about this. Little bit concerned about, what if this is a double 1, 2? I don't know. Obviously, it does not look beautiful. This has a double 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then you're in a massive 3rd wave here, and you're going to absolutely explode. I don't think this does not look good as a double 1, 2, just because the second 1, 2 is much larger in time, and you don't want to see that larger in time in price. So it does make more sense that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a possible extensive 5th wave. We're breaking out from the highs right now of today. It's wicking up. Still above the level. Do we have liquidity? Do we have liquidity? Let's check if we do get a possible short scalp. For the moment, it's breaking up. For the moment, there is still liquidity above us. We are sweeping up that liquidity. Let's take a look at the last 48 hours. Zoom in here ever so slightly. There is quite a bit of liquidity still that is being swept up here. 70,600, 700. Not too much above 71, but it's breaking out. It's breaking out from the highs. It's breaking out. No rejection for the moment. No rejection. No rejection from the highs, so we just continue pumping. Previous week equilibrium, I don't think is going to do much. It's not a major level. There's really not much confluence here in this area. I mean, if it tops out here and rejects, I have to say I would attempt a small possible short if we reject from today's highs. We almost hit 70,500. We're getting the rejection right now. Still above. Still above the level. Yeah, previous week equilibrium, I don't think it's going to do much. That previous week equilibrium as a resistance point. But there's just no real good short here in this area for me. Even though the price could top out, it could end up in a double top liquidity grab and then reject. There's just not a clear entry where I could enter and put stop loss. Looks like we could be rejecting from those highs. Let's analyze this very, very carefully. This could be the short trigger. I would really want to see the price getting back below the previous month close and this high successfully. I mean, even previous month close could provide. I don't mind entering a little late on the short. I just want to see the rejection from this level. I want to see the rejection. Could get a tight stop loss above those highs, entry zone, and I would be looking for the movement down to these, potentially to the lows of today. And that is, that's purely based on this 5-wave move up. Highly unlikely this is a double 1-2. You never know though. You never know. Just the timing is too extensive. This second wave 1-2 is too extended in time. So yeah, we need to reject from here. It's a possible attempt. We'll get into a small position if we reject from these highs and the previous month close. I would really want to see the price getting back below previous month close to step in on the rejection sign and possible sign of weakness, and then look for the price to go to lower levels. Right. Getting a possible position ready here. But as long as we're trading above this area, not interested. But it makes sense. There is reasons to believe that we could get a corrective move. We're probably losing the level right now. We're just about to test it. We're just testing the previous month close. Yeah, those bullish CVDs have played out. Yeah, it's a sniper short. I do see the sniper short possibility here. I mean, there was a very solid bullish CVD divergence, so there was a high probability in taking those highs right over here. There was a high probability in taking out the highs. I'm just concerned that there is still some liquidity. There's still some liquidity lying above us ever so slightly. There is still a bit of liquidity. Could get that. I mean, I'm happy to speculate on this double top. Let's take a look at CVD. Is there many shorts, or there's actually some pretty decent longs entering here. We do not want to form local bullish CVD divergence. If not, we exit, right? Or get stopped out. But overall, the projection looks pretty interesting to the downside. Yeah, the bullish CVD divergence were just too large, right, to take those highs. there's that possibility of the rejection here, I have to say. Especially when we analyze this this internal move to the upside. Double top, it's just when I do take a look at this as provided also on the stream, this could have been just the last move up on this fifth wave, extensive fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there is solid, you know, the only thing I'm concerned is a double 1, 2 here, which would be rare just because of the timing from this wave and this wave. You know, the second 1, 2 is inside of a wave 3, right? So when you're looking at, this is why it's unlikely that this could be a double 1, 2. It's possible, but it's unlikely just because the second 1, 2, you want it shorter in price and also on the timing, right? Because this second wave 1, 2 is the first wave 1 and 2 out of a third wave, right? And this is why, you know, you're basically counting this and then another 4, 5, 4, 5 right there, right? So you would have this, obviously it would not look like that, but you would want it shorter in the pricing because it is from a wave 3 and then you get the fourth and then the fifth wave. So if I am speculating on this scenario and you get a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, this second wave 1, 2 is so much larger than this one, and you supposedly you're in a third wave here, so it just wouldn't make any sense, right? The second wave 1 and 2 should be smaller based on price and timing because you're supposedly inside of a wave 3 and this is your first wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? It just wouldn't make any sense. It makes more sense that this has been a completion right there on 5 waves up, and that we could be seeing a corrective structure here. So anyway, above this zone, there was just no interest in shorting, and you could, you know, speculate on that double top, managing risk very, very well eventually. But there was just too many shorts entering here. The probabilities in claiming the highs again were just very, very high based on the huge amount of shorts that entered here. This was crazy. This is like this was crazy shorts entering 22 million delta here, and you could see it on the CVD. You're forming higher lows on price and, you know, extreme lower lows right there on Bybit. You're getting a bunch of huge amount of traders shorting the market, which are obviously getting stopped out with this move. So you know, makes sense for that double top, internal double top anyway, right over here, which is you know, it's for the moment it is rejecting. It's and I think that a first target zone for this short would potentially be these lows at a bare minimum. 1, 2, 1, 2. At a bare minimum, this low over here potentially has a TP1. I'm not sure if we do have any news happening right now, apart from the presidential election. Let me go through the comment section right away. Say hello to the beautiful community. What's going on? Are we going to get a bounce? Are we bouncing? We don't want to see bearish CVD divergence. We don't want to see bearish CVD divergence. Is there any many shorts entering the market here for the moment? We got some slightly internal bullish bullish CVD divergence here, ever so slightly on Bybit. We do have some shorts entering here. It could squeeze up. Damn you, there should be longs entering here, not shorts. Ever so slightly. Let's see if they do get invalidated. But for the moment, yeah, we are getting some shorts entering here on Bybit. Let's take a look at the lower time frame here. Yeah, we got a bit of shorts entering here on this latest move. I don't want to see shorts here entering at the top. There's been some initial longs as well, not going to lie. There has been a few longs entering also. But there's no bearish CVDs. There's only bullish ones. There's only local bullish ones, ever so slightly. There is the risk. There is the risk. Let's see if we invalidate those bullish CVDs. We need to start sweeping up these lows right away now in the next coming minutes to invalidate the bullish CVDs, because you are forming higher lows on the price action here, and you are ever so slightly creating lower lows right there. No bueno. It's no bueno. It's no bueno. Anyway, it's a small position. If the dump happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we got the rejection. We got the double top. It was a speculation. I had to take the chance on that speculative short. But we are forming bullish CVD divergence internally. It's a small position. I do see the possibility of bouncing here from this level, just because there's shorts entering right now. Screw you, shorts. I want people to long. That high is getting back tested right now as support as well. Let's take a look at where's the VWAP today. I haven't checked where VWAP is. VWAP is very far away. VWAP is just there, far away to the downside. Oh, just back tested that level. Oh no, we didn't. If the price moves up back to the highs, I will not be interested in a triple top. I mean, it could happen. It could happen if the price maintains support here, uptrend momentum based on the bullish CVD divergence that we are getting, because there are people getting into shorts here. I would not be too interested in the next short position. I mean, even though, yeah, it could be a triple top, right? Or an ascending wedge, if you wish, right? Could it be an ascending wedge? You claim the high one more time, and then you get the pullback. I mean, yeah, because the risk management is so good, you have to say, look, we can attempt that scenario. Let's be honest. Stop loss is just such a baby of a stop loss that, if it does get stopped out, and a triple top is wedgie structure, it just does make sense based on how we moved here already in 5 waves. It kind of would be ready for, oh, it's actually dropping down now. So far, so good. Let's see if we do get that breakdown, at least down to the VWAP, at least down to these lows. It's, this would be a bouncing zone. It wouldn't be much of an interesting long position, but I know it could bounce at the VWAP in a sweep of these lows. Anyway, guys, make sure to absolutely destroy the like button if you like this chilled live stream, looking at the internal scenarios. The only scenario here was a double top. We realized that, it was a possibility. This is still not, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. So far, the entry is good. The risk management is good. This level of resistance is trying to hold us as support, right? The high is right over here. It is trying. We are getting We are getting some bullish CVDs ever so slightly from these pivots. I don't. It hasn't completely invalidated this. No, we are getting the lower lows. We are getting the shorts on Bybit entering here. There is a few million shorts here. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking these local bullish CVDs because it's just telling me that there's a chance in taking those highs. I want to see higher highs on CVD. I don't want to see lower lows internally here because it's just reducing the probabilities for me to get that movement down and getting potentially stopped out. So this new data is not good. It's no bueno. It's no bueno. No bueno, no bueno. Gonna give it a chance. Gonna give it a chance to form bearish CVD divergence, which eventually is gonna be extremely hard unless we get a massive move up here. We get some decent longs, we back test that high, and we get some bearish CVD divergence, then we could say, okay guys, we probably have a chance here. Gonna give the bears a chance. Gonna give the bears a chance. If we break through, I mean, this is no zone to add to position or do any of that funny business, guys. If we break out from the highs again, I do believe that we could be heading up to this high. Manage risk accordingly. This would not be a zone that I would be saying I'm adding to the position. Make sure to have your stop losses in place if you're having any of these attempts, right? There's nothing better than managing risk, right? Nothing better than managing risk. The price could roll over from here, but if it breaks back above from the high, I do not want to know anything, and I would just look for the price to actually extend at least to the golden pocket. Okay, we are getting that pump. It's going to be a bit of a, yeah, I do see it. If we do break out above from the highs, a triple top, not that interested. There we go. Let's see if we do get, yeah, no longs entering here. No longs entering. Yeah, there is that risk of the bullish CVDs sweeping up the highs again. Would I consider a triple top right scenario? I would personally not be too interested. I would personally not be too interested. It either back tests the level and it starts rolling down. If not, stop loss. Yeah, I mean, obviously the bullish CVD divergence is decreasing the possibilities of the rejection here. The higher lows, the lower lows on CVD, you got several million. There's some longs entering here, not that many. I did not want to see shorts entering the market here. It just decreases the probability. Bullish CVDs, yeah, it's probably going to take out the high. It's going to take out the high. But we'll give the bears a chance here. It's only a tight stop loss. Overall, long positions played out very, very nicely throughout the last 24 hours. Who entered? Who was here on yesterday's stream? Because we were talking about the long positions in that long position on 𝗖𝗄𝗃, also on Bybit, on several exchanges, and compounding into that long position. That was purely based on the, obviously this short as well. I did not enter this short. It came all the way down to the lows. But who was here getting ready for this setup that was mentioned yesterday on the stream, guys? If you haven't checked out yesterday's stream, just purely based on the education and analyzing the wave scenarios, you need to take a look at yesterday's stream. Go ahead, because we build up the, starting from zero, right? We build up with a blank chart starting from zero and coming to the conclusion of the different scenarios, doing the analysis from scratch and talking about the bouncing points, which is that $66,900 range as well, the low of the wedge that could get that bounce that played out very, very nicely, guys. We're talking about how to trade it, the setups, how to get into a long trading setup here, very, very chilled. If you did not have, having your stop loss very far away, give it a bit of room for all of those people that could not be in front of the charts, actively giving you that possible scenario here on this move for the price of Bitcoin that is playing out very, very nicely throughout the last 24 hours, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button just because of the education, the scenarios, the risk management. Much love to you, brothers and sisters. Remember, by the way, if you're not trading on any platform, Bybit for me is the #1 trading platform. Make sure to sign up with the link down below, because you do have $500 deposit bonus. Guys, take advantage of that bonus, because you can keep the profits that you make from that bonus, guys. Bybit #1. If you cannot do Bybit, the best no KYC, no identification is bluffing, guys. You also have the link to $10,000 deposit bonus with the link down below, guys. If you cannot trade on Bybit, another way for you to trade in the best platform out there. Also supports the channel if you want to continue seeing me around over here. Andy, what about ending diagonal of wave 5 in 15 minutes? Woo! Let's take a look at that. It's going to be it's going to be a bit complex today, guys. We're going to see a bit of volatility. We've got the US elections, right? Presidential election. It's going to be a bit spicy, guys. If you get into any setups throughout the next 24 hours, be defensive. Don't create any big major positions or believe that you're going to start adding to positions anywhere here for a short, or add to long positions. If you're very bullish on the retracement, there could be claims of the lows. Get a major wick up here to the 0.88 Fibonacci, maybe, right from this wick high to the low. It could get a bit spicy today, guys. This is no day to add to position. Well, there's never a day to add to position. I'm never a fan of doing any of that kind of trading unless you do it responsibly, like add 0.5%, add 0.5%, add at 0.5%. Okay, if you do have a stop loss of 2, max 3% of your capital, then you could compound like this if you are doing it responsibly. But I think today is not a day to do so, guys, because of the presidential elections, right? We could be seeing that volatility up and down. Let's keep some levels, higher time frame, right? Higher time frame levels. This was a possible scalp short, not gonna lie. We mentioned this. Will it play out or not? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But I don't like too much the 618 Fibonacci. It's just, I don't have major levels of confluence, no naked point of control, previous week highs, different levels. I don't have any confluence there. No daily, no nothing. So I don't like it too much. I would rather attempt a sweep of Friday's highs for a short scalp. The golden pocket, I understand it could get rejected. It's just a risk management, right? Yeah, you could have a stop loss ever so slightly above the highs when you reject from it and get that rejection. It's just not going to be an easy trade based on risk management. Yeah, you could put stop loss above the highs after the rejection and enter after the rejection. Not shorting the pump. Make sure to have those first initial signs of weakness, which would be that initial rejection. Because shorting into a pump is really, really a bit suicidal, right? You are hoping and you are expecting that the price will get rejected there, but it could just pop out and just sweep up the Friday highs, which I would be interested in if I'm in front of the chart to speculate on a scalp short. It is possible. So anyway, the other scenarios, if price were to roll down at some point, wherever the price does here, we have to be extremely cautious on the possibility of sweeping up this low. It's going to be very difficult to predict a regular zigzag, because on a corrective move, you could form an A, B, C, or you could form an A, B, C, right? The B wave can retrace to the 382 and get a bounce, or it can retrace to the 0.88 and get a bounce, or it could actually sweep up the lows and get a bounce and you form a flat. So it's just very, very difficult to look for a long position on the possible retracement that could happen throughout the next coming hours. So the best scenario, if it does happen, is getting into a long position as you sweep the lows from yesterday or early this morning. If the price moves down, and this is something that I already mentioned, but I know there's some new people joining the live stream today. If the price, whatever it does here, if it goes in circles and then goes down without forming a regular zigzag here, right? If the price right now drops down very aggressively, there is only one wave up and one wave down after this contracting diagonal, right? That we mentioned throughout yesterday's stream. There is only one wave up. So if you come down to sweep up these lows very fast throughout the next coming hours, just because whatever happens with the elections, right? You might get a dump, you might get a massive rocket pump and go to 72, 73K. That is possible. But I know if we do dump very aggressively here, this is going to be an epic swing failure pattern if it does manage to recover, because I would be without a doubt speculating on an ABC flat, because this would be too soon for this correction to finish. I would be speculating on this because this is very one wavy. Let me just get this in the red and get those, you know, this, for this to roll down and successfully break down here, there's only one wave up. And hey, price moves in waves, either in 3 waves or either in 5 waves. And we've only got one wave here. So this wave down has very low probability in successfully breaking down the lows from early this morning or late last night. Very low probability. So you have to come to the conclusion that if the price does roll down very aggressively here because of whatever reason, that if you SFP from here, there is a long setup. And that long setup is without a doubt, you know, first take profit one would be the 0.618 extension, because you're speculating on a flat, and it could be a running flat. You know, it might just top out here and roll back down. But, you know, there is a lot that this would be a TP1 without a doubt. This is a good SFP only if the price drops down here in the next coming hours, right? By tonight, early tomorrow morning, right? If we were starting to top out here and roll down pretty aggressively, there is high probability that this could swing failure pattern and get an epic bounce from yesterday's lows or early this morning lows. Just because there is only one initial wave here happening. I mean, and this could be an epic wave A, and this could just break through. It could be an insane wave one. Oh, this is why, hey, if this breaks through here in the next coming hours, if we break through, we get an epic move. I have to say it will correct at some point. I don't see this rocketing to all-time highs, right? Or rocketing to the highs. you know, if it does continue to the upside, this wave needs a pullback. It needs to happen. So we need to be ready for specific levels. And yes, the golden pocket is a good level just on its own, but there's not enough confluence for me to believe that we will reject from the golden pockets. You know, preferably an SFP from the highs of Friday would be kind of the deal, right? That would be the ideal level for me to speculate on a short position. Golden pocket on its own, it could get choppy, it could get wicky. It's not going to be easy, guys. I don't like easy trades. I like the easy trades that I don't get, you know, a lot of the times. But yesterday was an easy trade. This was an easy speculative move. We did not know if the price was going to roll down, but we did know that if it were to roll down, that we were likely going to get that bounce from the $67,000 range of a few $1,000s possibly to the upside. This was an easy speculative. If we roll down from here, guys, we have the long, and this was explained throughout yesterday's live stream, how to long this, how to put stop loss. And, you know, we should be out of that position already, right? We should be already taking most of the profits from that long position that was provided here, giving the explanation how to trade it if we were to come down there, why I do believe that we could get the bounce. We're looking at a possible contracting diagonal. Then obviously we're looking for that wave to the upside. And price is moving up right now. So overall, you know, it was a very, very good, easier, right? It's never easy. You get easier setups and harder setups, right? And this was an easier setup to predict. If the price were to come down, that you were likely going to get that bounce. Now, if the price were to move up from here, it's very difficult to basically, you know, predict the possible, you know, rejection points. Of course, we have moved down here in 5 waves, right? You got the contracting diagonal possible speculation right there. What you want to see some kind of 3-wave structure here, at least. You know, and this for me, there's low probability. Okay, there's that their all-time highs could be claimed right throughout tonight. So my only interest levels, the golden pocket is going to be very hard, at least for me anyway, right? It could reject, it could not reject, it could get choppy, it could get wicky. It's not going to be an easy level to get into a short. It might locally double top. It's not going to be easy. So I really would rather pass on this. But I realize that, you know, this is very one-wavy. We need some kind of a correction, right? It needs to happen. This ain't going to fly to all-time high in a straight line. It's just not, we should be looking at some kind of corrective move. So it's just not going to be, so I'm aware of an all-time high not being hit eventually. The best level for a rejection is the sweep of Friday highs. Golden pocket will not be easy. Will not be an easy short. So the only attempt that I would have would be that sweep of the highs for another short speculation, right? You could get a little bit punchy if you were to get the sweep of these highs. Could it create another initial wick to the upside? You're forming a wedgie structure. I have to say, I mean, the risk management is there. This could potentially happen as well, right? It does seem like that it could be ready for a corrective move just because of the initial waves that we have formed throughout today. The only extreme bullish case scenario would be a double 1-2, however, and then you're forming, you know, this 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, you know, and you're just extending and you're going a little bit parabolic. This is the only extreme bullish case scenario that could happen, but I don't think it's likely just because of the second wave 1-2. It's much larger in timing than the first wave 1-2. And of course, you know, if this is longer in timing, it just decreases the probability that you are looking at a double 1-2, because this 1-2 is part of the 1-2 from a third wave. So it's just not, it should be smaller in price and timing, right? Not larger. So I just don't see that. I do see more likely this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this topping out. So another triple top is, you know, you could have an attempt. You always can manage risk very, very well, but just be aware that this is no area to add to short positions. If this ends up in a double 1-2, boom, boom, and then you're just absolutely rocketing here, you want to be out of the market of any shorts. You know, you don't want to play any funny business. I'd rather get stopped out at a minor loss than actually still being in a short or adding to position here. We want to be out of the market. This is not going to be an easy zone. There's really not that much resistance above the highs. There is the golden pocket. There is the golden pocket. That's about it. I think we're still at the anchored VWAP, if I'm not mistaken, from the highs of last Tuesday. We are above it. It kind of held as support. Anchored VWAP from Tuesday highs. Yeah, it looks like it wants to squeeze out. We did have the bullish CVD divergence, which, you know, obviously was not giving the probabilities for the setup initially. We were having those higher lows on price action, lower lows on the CVD. Too many shorts entering here that, you know, are going to get punished. So, yeah, it could squeeze out. It could squeeze out. The only thing I'm concerned is a triple top, another wick, and then correction. I have to say, it could be a possibility. Get one more wick. It's going to be very, very hard if it wicks up and rejects to catch the high. It might as well just pop out here. It might as well pop out. It's not going to be easy. I mean, the only attempt that you have is risk a few peanuts if it does triple top here. Risk a few peanuts. Only if it, you know, kind of triple tops here, right? In this kind of wedgie structure. If it just breaks out and continues to the upside, no interest in shorts in trying to catch a high here for a short whatsoever, guys, because we cannot manage risk like that. I mean, I could not manage risk like that. I need specific levels, specific rejections, and just if we break through from here, the only level that I have is the golden pocket. You know, there's no naked point of controls, there's no nothing. Yeah, it's just not I don't see it. Very difficult here. Very, very difficult. In between 70,500 and 71,000. For me, this is an empty zone. It's an empty zone. Preferably sweep of last Friday's highs. Bring it on. You know, I would be willing to jump into a speculative short scalp if we do reject from it. If we get above it, obviously, then hey, all-time highs by tonight, right? Anybody, do you believe that all-time highs will happen by tonight? I don't think so. Anyway, who knows? Who knows? Who has won the election? It hasn't happened just yet. Ethereum analysis before going, Andy. I will get Ethereum analysis ready for tomorrow. Somebody asked me about NASDAQ. I will be doing full analysis on NASDAQ for tomorrow's stream. And I will also add up Ethereum. So it will be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and NASDAQ, right? And this is full analysis. I will get that ready throughout tomorrow morning for the live stream. So just for that, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You'll be missing out on the full analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and NASDAQ, okay? And if you have missed out, if you are new to the channel, we basically do daily technical analysis, live streams, look at the different scenarios and setups, guys. Yesterday's setup, so far, so good, paying off very, very nicely, and, you know, getting the bounce here very, very nicely above $70,000. which we very much, realized that it was a high chance that that could happen. We are bouncing up, moving up. Could we claim those highs and reject from them, or could we just pop out from here? Would not be interested in any compound shorts or any of that business here, even though if the price does reject at some point, guys, it is dangerous. There is the chance of a double 1-2, and it does extend to ever so slightly higher levels. I ain't going to play any funny businesses here on shorts. If it pops out, it pops out, and we just go to higher levels. The 618 Fibonacci is not going to be an easy short, without a doubt. Respect the pump till we form a range or we form some rejections. I am not going to be playing any funny business here on shorts. It's just not a good solid level for the moment on its own. We need to see the high hit, a rejection, right? Maybe a double top. But I do understand that the corrective move is very, very close. Just because we realized that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is very one wavy. It's very A wavy. So a corrective move is just, it's kind of inevitable, right? But it's either happens here, as I mentioned, with the double top or the triple top or this wedgie structure. I mean, I have to say, this is an acceptable short position if it does wick above the high and it comes back down. If you do reject, it's a sniper short. You can risk 2 peanuts. If it does end up being the high, then hey, you are risking a couple of dollars, right? You might be risking more, but you're risking a few peanuts. Like, I like to compare it to peanuts, right? Then your emotions will be moved out of the trade. You're looking for a sweep of the lows right there. If you risk 2 peanuts here, you can potentially gain 10 peanuts, right? So, risk $2 to gain $10, right? Just to get the risk management printed in your brain, right? Because I know a lot of people do risk more than they should. And that is a fact. That comes as default as noob traders, right? It comes as default for noob traders. You risk more than 10%. You risk more than 20% on your capital from your liquidation and your stop losses. Yes, you right there watching. I know you do so. I know you do so. Make sure to change the bad habits, manage risk overall, and stop fucking around with what you're willing to lose, okay? More than what you're willing to lose. It's all about small, consistent trades. And there's opportunities every single day. Small, consistent profits, small losses, small profits, and build up. You ain't going to make a fortune on one single trade. There's a higher chance that you will lose a lot of money in one single trade, right? Than actually making a lot in one trade. Make small positions every single day and build up that way, right? Guys, who is going to win the elections? Is it out already? Frank Pruitt is saying, he's talking to me. I'm the one. Time to lock in young legends. Who's going to win, guys? Trump. Yeah, I think there is a high probability that Donald Trump is going to win the election. Shall we do a poll? Let's do a poll. Who will win? Who will win right away? Guys, let me know. We got 900 people watching the stream. Woo! Let's destroy the like button all together, because this stream can get to 1,000 likes. I'm just here. I'm almost 3 hours into the stream. Destroy the like button, guys. We just chilling, looking for scenarios and setups. I've talked about through multiple scenarios throughout the stream. Let's talk about an internal one here. If the price were to drop, is there a good long? Is there a good quick long? Well, remember, the price drops faster than it does pump, okay? Price drops faster than it does pump. So if the price does drop There will not be a good, easy, long position if it starts dropping aggressively, right? It just will not be easy. It will not be easy. Anyway, who will win? Let me just finish the poll. My goodness. Trump or Kamala? Who's going to win? Guys, let me know. Vote. Make sure to vote right away on the poll. Just out of curiosity, who do you think is going to win? I know Trump is going to take the most votes. I know Trump is going to get the most votes. I know he is. I mean, he does have high probability that he is going to win. Right? Recession after Donald Trump wins the election? Harris? Who do you think is going to win, guys? Let me know. I'm going to say Trump, obviously. I want him to win. Oh my goodness, 25% of people are saying that Kamala is going to win the election. That's pretty crazy. I would have expected this poll to actually be 90% Trump or something like that. But hey, there's a few saying that Kamala will win. One-fourth. Over 200 votes right away. Trump or Kamala, guys. Make sure to all vote right away. And then we'll know if there's more Republicans or Democrats right away. Trump fans. Donald Trump has to win. Come on. Let's get to 300 votes and we go to the rest of the comment section. Yeah, 74%. There's still over 25% of people, which is interesting. It's interesting. I think Donald Trump, you either love him or you hate him, right? There's no middle sentiment right there. You either love him or you hate him. And yeah, it will be stolen again. That is something curious. Imagine, it will be stolen again, says 𝗕𝗶𝗴𝗽. I am from India, Dalip. I am from Spain, my man. Trump to the moon, says Shelby. Trump supporters are all hopeful. Trump supporters are hopeful, yeah. The Simpsons predicted this a long time ago that a woman will win, says Ion Crypto. Wow. Really? I mean, I have seen a few Simpson episodes from the past that, predict that some things could happen, but a lot of people said that they were created after the prediction, basically, right? Oh no, Simpsons, says Great White. Trump pump. If Kamala wins, first they close X from Elon Musk. Andy, can you do a quick Ethereum analysis? I will be doing an Ethereum analysis. I'm really tired out. I've been over here 3 hours here on the stream almost right now. So you're going to wrap it up very, very soon in the next couple of minutes. But anyway, we'll still continue, right? Let's just continue. We're making a little bit of a marathon here on the stream. I want to take a look at some different news that are actually bullish, guys, for the long term, right? For Bitcoin and crypto in general. We have the first UK pension scheme to invest in Bitcoin has made a 3% allocation. That is massive. Pension fund, 3% allocation in Bitcoin. There's going to be big money coming into Bitcoin. So we eventually know that despite any corrective moves, that we should be breaking all-time high in the coming weeks, if not months. It's going to happen. Smashing through it, guys. Despite the corrections, there's too much accumulation, too much interest in buying Bitcoin at cheaper levels. So the dips are there to buy. Michigan State Retirement System holds nearly 7 million in Bitcoin ETFs and over 11 million on Ethereum ETFs. Another sign right there. Okay, that's, there's also big institutions piling up. Mt. Gox 2.2 billion in Bitcoin to unmarked wallets, potentially preparing for creditors' repayments, according to Arkham Intel data. So we're getting a few payments here on Mt. Gox, possibly, right? Potentially. Will that affect, will that all go into crypto holding, or will it be for selling? I don't know, I'm tired out, guys, you know, not even wanting to read out the news, but I had this few interesting things that I wanted to talk about, and some interesting charts also that I want to talk about. And I've overextended the live stream. I'm tired out. I'm not going to have a coffee right now. It is late. But there are some interesting charts that I want to talk about. There's been massive outflows yesterday. We know that, right? Over $500 million on outflows. One of the biggest is the second largest outflow on the Bitcoin ETF yesterday. So it was a big outflow. Bitcoin mining difficulty hits 101.6. This caused an overflow on our end. Never imagined it would surpass 100 trillion transaction, right? Back in the day. Difficulty is increasing, obviously, on the mining consistently. Tired out, legend. Not even know what I'm reading out here. This is interesting data from charts of the past. Of course, this does not mean that history needs to repeat, but overall, looking at the election back in 2016, when Trump was elected, just looking at Bitcoin, it did drop 5% after the election, just after a few days. Then it got a major recovery bounce. Of course, you know, we were, you know, entering a bull market territory. And then in 2020, we had Biden, and Bitcoin did pump very nicely. This is kind of in confluence with the 4-year cycle, right? Which means that the bull run should continue to the upside throughout the next coming months. But will it this time be different? Well, for the moment, everything points out that it's not different. And there is the massive cup in handle, guys. There is the massive cup in handle. This chart is insane, comparing it to gold from the last decade, basically. That we formed very similar price action, forming this gigantic cup in handle. When we go and see the dollar index is dropping, that is good. When we do check gold, massive cup in handle that we did form throughout the last decade that exploded out only this year. We've exploded out only this year from this cup in handle. When we do zoom out on the chart of Bitcoin, dollar index dropping, that is good. That's what we want to see. When we take a look at this cup in handle that has been formed on Bitcoin throughout the last few years, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? It's like, hey, come on. This has to be bullish. This has to get an epic breakout, right? Massive, look at this classic handle formation. It looks pretty damn good. I mean, this guy was, you're looking at different movements that are very similar. Obviously, this is comparing a weekly time frame to a daily one. Very similar price action that we have on Bitcoin right now, and that should be expecting some pretty bullish, strong bullish momentum in the next coming weeks. Anyway, it looks very interesting, guys. Looks pretty good. I am bullish. Higher time frame, lower time frame could have some volatility. We'll take a look at some altcoins on tomorrow's live stream. US election results will not be known till Wednesday. Yes, okay, so anyway, but we can make that poll, right, to see who will win, right? Almost 80% of the people say Trump, right? Lot of Trump fans here, or basically knowing based on the data who will win. Donald Trump looks like he's going to win. Guys, thank you very much for joining. Remember, if you want more internal analysis on the price of Bitcoin and possible scenarios by me and the rest of the coaches, you do have the Legends trading community. That is the first link down below. It's on Discord. Here's where we provide daily analysis, potential setups with our DevAlt and rest of the coaches, looking at the different scenarios every single day. And that is where you want to be if you want to take your trading to the next level. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.